towards that far side, and all of a sudden this place has filled up rather quickly. 62,500 it holds, and they will hope to see their side build on that victory against Newcastle last week. Burnley, managed by Scott Parker, a former West Ham player, twice Hammer of the Year voted by the fans during his time. He'll have other ideas, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, we talk about the players, the management, referees, etc. By the way, the fans were brilliant there. That was a brilliant moment of remembrance, and they've got behind their team as well. You can hear it.
And we're underway. BBC Radio 5 Live, and already there's a free kick been awarded to Burnley. So West Ham are in their claret tops and the white shorts, and Burnley are in the all sky blue, and they're going to leave it for Dubravka. Should say as well, incidentally, that there hasn't been a goalless draw in the last 37 games between these two at West Ham. You have to go all the way back to 1936, a meeting in Division 2 when a Nevin played that day, a George Nevin. No relation?
Not that I'm aware of.
He hailed from County Durham, and he was playing for Burnley that particular day.
My family was still in County Kildare at that time.
Well, for Scott Parker, who turned 45 last month, he sees his side 3 points better off than West Ham, slightly better goal difference, but if they were to suffer a heavy defeat here today, then West Ham would actually climb out of the relegation zone at Burnley's expense, who actually are still the second favourites for the drop, behind Wolves, who are odds on, as Cullen with a little layoff, and Walker just drifts into a central area, the right back, lays it back to Estev. Now this is Hartman, the left-hand side, closed down quickly by Wan-Bissaka. Both managers are in that expansive technical area as we sit a long way back here at the London Stadium on a very mild afternoon, as it goes all the way back to Dubravka. But the Burnley game plan will be simple, just try and frustrate. Yeah,
they've got hold of the ball quite well early on in this game here, so they're not going forward particularly quickly. They're saying, try and calm down that crowd, just what we were talking about before the game. What do you do against a team like West Ham who have the toxicity in the stadium? Try and calm the crowd. The crowd were very lively for about a minute. It's gone quiet again.
Ugochukwu is forward on that far side to right. Burnley playing from right to left. They get a throw to the away side that Chowner is going to take, the one change that Burnley have made. £13 million signing from Lazio. In fact, he's going to leave it for Kyle Walker. So Kyle Walker, approaching veteran status, isn't he, I guess, in footballing terms, at 35. In it comes now. It's a long throw. Fleming is there, cleared by Todibo, goes back out towards Walker, guides his header in field, but in fact there's a West Ham player who is down. It looks like it's Diouf, and it's a head injury, and therefore there is going to be a stoppage in play. Michael Salisbury, without any hesitation, bringing on the physios to treat the Senegal international.
Yep, I mean, you have to stop it. You can't take any chances. And funnily enough, it's his own player that's bumped into him. He's just about to go up for a header, and it's Kilman behind him. And it's kind of, I don't think, there's no foul there or anything. He's had a little bit of a bump. To be honest, it didn't look terrible when it happened there, but he has stayed down, so we have to be careful.
This is the first of 8 Premier League commentaries across the 5 Live Sport network this weekend, and as every Saturday afternoon at 3 we give you a choice of listening. We've got our main game and the usual goal service on 5 Live, but today on Sports Extra we've got Everton against Fulham, being watched by John Bennett.
Goalless so far, but it's all Everton and a half chance for Tieno Barry, still looking for his first goal in an Everton shirt. Low cross by Keenan Dewsbury Hall. He just couldn't get a good enough contact on the ball, straight to the goalkeeper. Everton 0, Fulham 0. So that's on Sports Extra. And on BBC One at the moment is the Rugby League, England-Australia. Sharon Shortall.
And it's England 0, Australia 12. The second try of the game, and it's come from Hudson Young. He followed up a grubber kick through from Cameron Munster to touchdown. This coming after a nice spell of pressure from England, but Australia still taking their chances well. 28 minutes gone now. It's England 0, Australia 12.
Malik Diouf is still getting treatment in his centre circle, so this is turning into a lengthy stoppage. Just checking the extent of that blow to the face. Of course, they've got to be so careful these days with concussion protocols and such like. Wrexham Charlton in the Championship, Lee Blakeman.
Wrexham 0, Charlton 0, but Charlton should have been ahead inside the first minute. Carey, their top scorer, cutting in from the left on his right foot. Great curling shot. Super save Okonkwo to tip it round the post. Wrexham 0, Charlton 0.
We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service. 5 minutes on the clock have ticked by. It is West Ham United 0, Burnley 0. But in actual playing time, there's been very little because there's been a lengthy stoppage to the Senegal international El Hadj Malik Diouf, who is now only back to his feet and running on the far side and looks fit to resume.
He certainly does look very fit. I mean, he stayed down there for a long time. Whether he wanted to stay down for a long time or not, I'm not so sure. But they went through all the protocols, and as soon as he stood up, he looked fabulous again. So he'll be on in a few seconds.
Ball into Ugo Chukwu's path, but it'll go out of play for a goal kick. So wherever you are in the world, listening to the World Service, as always, it's a pleasure to have your company on this Saturday afternoon. As earlier today, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 2. The results in the Championship: Blackburn 1, Derby 2, Hull City 3, Portsmouth 2, and Millwall and Preston North End played out a 1-1 draw. In League One, Northampton beat Mansfield 2-1, Wycombe beat Leyton Orient by 4-1. Bromley were 2-0 winners in League 2 at Colchester, and at Gresty Road, Crewe beat Shrewsbury by 3-1. Later on, we've got commentary from the Stadium of Light, Sunderland against Arsenal. That's a 5:30 kick-off. And tomorrow, a whole host of games that we have covered for you, finishing off with Manchester City-Liverpool at 4:30. But the game here, not helped by that lengthy stoppage. There's been no real rhythm at all, Pat.
No, there hasn't been. What Burnley tried to do right at the start of the game is slow it down, calm or quieten the crowd down. Well, it helps if you stop the game for 3.5 minutes, nothing goes on at all. That's killed what little atmosphere there was there completely. And now Burnley, if you think about it, in the entirety of the game, have West Ham really been in the opposition final third? They really haven't. So it's been all Burnley. Having said that, it's not been that dangerous so far.
Walker with a throw, flicked on and then gathered in by Areola in his luminous goalkeeping outfit away towards our left-hand side. A chance now at Everton, John Bennett.
Still 0-0. It's Tiano Barry again, the underperforming Everton striker, crossed by Garner, and he headed it over, so frustrated that he jumped on the bar and started swinging from the crossbar. Everton 0, Fulham 0.
Barrow, who are unbeaten in 6 in League 2, have fallen behind. Grimsby are leading there. Barrow 0, Grimsby Town 1. That's the latest score in League 2. Out towards Wan-Bissaka on this near side, the right. And now this is with Fernandes. Fernandes just puts his right foot on the ball, passes the ball back inside to Freddie Potts, the youngster who's been at West Ham since the age of 6, the son of Steve, the brother of Dan, giving them some much needed energy in the midfield. And it's his forward ball that Wan-Bissaka latches onto, right hand side of the area. Back it goes towards Potts, plays it in now, headed away by Esteve, only as far as Potts. Foul by Ugo Chukwu. Direct free kick for West Ham. And this was certainly within shooting distance, 23, 24 yards out from goal?
Yeah, everyone looked at the referee, and while everyone was watching the referee, Paquetá ignored the ball and walked straight towards the ball, as if to say, I'm having this, I'd love to do this. However, Bowen, for me, Bowen's a brilliant player to have from that possession. There are two, one to go one side, one to go the other, making it very difficult for the goalkeeper, because we're talking 24 yards out. A very good angle for the strike.
Well, at the minute, Dubravka, all in green, away towards our right, is crouching down. He's got 4 in the wall, but there is also Hartman, who is stood behind that wall. They've added some. In fact, Hartman's going to go down in that draft excluder as he lies down at the heels of the players stood in front of him. They've now must have at least 6 in the wall. Dubravka is not going to see this at all. Paquetá is also there, but Bowen is poised. Free kick. Bowen runs forward now, left-footed, strikes the top of the wall, and it's repelled by the Burnley defence. We've been playing for 9 minutes. It remains 0-0 here on 5 Live. It's also 0-0 between Everton and Fulham on Sports Extra. Ball played forward for Burnley. Todibo will tidy up, and back it goes to Areola. Let's get the result then in the sprint race for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Harry Benjamin.
Dramatic start to Saturday in Sao Paulo. Lando Norris wins, extends his championship lead to 9 points after his teammate Oscar Piastri crashed out in the damp conditions. Just a few hours to go until we're qualifying for the Grand Prix.
And commentary of that Grand Prix on Sports Extra tomorrow at 4:50. As Rotherham United are leading Lincoln City by 1-0, but Somerville's attacking for West Ham. Left-hand side of the penalty area, can't find his way through, and Walker will clear with a diagonal clearance laid off by Anthony and then hammered away by Hartman. So Rotherham 1, Lincoln City 0 is the latest score in League One, and Fleetwood are down to 10 men. Zach Medley has been sent off as Fleetwood are away to Crawley in League Two, so they're down to 10 men in the early stages. 10 minutes played here, bit of cloud cover just starting to build. There is some weak sunshine just on the very top rows of that stand over on the far side. Ball by Fernandez, laid off then by Bowen, back towards Fernandez. Paquetá will drop deep, and West Ham all of a sudden starting to grow into the game.
They've not had a good start, West Ham, but even saying that, something about them looks more balanced now than what it was at the start of the season. And Nuno's had to change this team around quite a bit. Personnel, also the positions. I mean, Paquetá's played about 4 different positions so far, but he looks to me as if he's found something that feels right. It's got a bit of a balance about it. It's got players who enjoy linking up with each other, playing near each other. So just watching them just now growing into the game, yeah, you can see what they're trying to do, and if they can get the ball to Somerville, who can maybe go and hammer down that line and ask a few questions, that'd be good.
Good ball in by Diouf. He must have played that midway through the Burnley half. On that left-hand side, got it out from under his feet and whipped it in, and Wilson was there. I've seen him play for Senegal. I know all about his deliveries for Malik Diouf. And he only had one thing on his mind as soon as that ball reached him. There's been a goal at St Mary's. Andy Stevenson.
Southampton are ahead of Sheffield Wednesday. Casper Yonda will be credited with the goal, but it's an unusual one. A clearance from Liam Palmer, ricochets off Yanda over the hand of Ethan Horvath and just over the goal line. It's Southampton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Beat Queen's Park Rangers in midweek and looking to get back-to-back wins against bottom of the table Sheffield Wednesday without a win in 8. Remains 0-0 here, also goalless at Everton. Trying the Rugby League, Sharon Shortle.
And it's gone the way of England. It's England 6, Australia 12. George Williams, the captain, with the try, following up on a lovely break from Jez Litton, who grubber kicked through, and Williams won the chaser touchdown. Smith has converted, and it's got the crowd back into this one. England 6, Australia 12, with 5 minutes to go in this half.
Live on BBC One, Somerville runs across the halfway line and then passes the ball forward. This now is with Fernandez. Somerville with a cross, that was blocked, and it needed to be blocked by Twanzebe behind for a West Ham corner kick. They're on top.
It can look a little bit laboured with West Ham, the way they move the ball about. Yes, it's controlled, but a little bit laboured until it comes to Somerville. He is lightning. Now, he doesn't always get the final ball right, but you tend to find that when a move involves him, it ends up at the byline, and he makes a chance of getting the ball across, or gets a corner, or gets something out of it. So he's been a live wire so far in this game, and certainly the liveliest wire that the Hammers have had.
Barrow 0, Grimsby 2, and Peterborough United at London Road are leading Wimbledon by 1-0. Corner kick for West Ham, far side the left. Playing from left to right, in-swinger, delivered deep. Kilman was there, beaten in the air though by Walker, and comes off the head of the England international and out for a West Ham throw on this near side.
And I'm sure Burnley would like to get some more corner kicks against West Ham, who have struggled now and again this season. It has to be said, I think that's been kind from corner kicks and free kicks, but particularly corner kicks.
You're absolutely right, Pat. They've conceded 9 goals, West Ham, from corners, 4 more than any other side, and they thought they'd actually got the corner for themselves, but the assistant referee on this near side has deemed it to be a goal kick, much to the annoyance of Paquetá, and it will be Dubravka to take that goal kick. There's been a try in the Rugby Union, Scotland, New Zealand. Ailey Barber.
Not the start. Scotland 1 did it. Scotland 0, New Zealand 7. The try coming from scrum half Roygaard. It was all down to the hard work of Lord in the ruck, picking up, driving forward, and released Roygaard to just run in for the easiest of scores. The extras added by Barrett from the conversion. It is Scotland 0, New Zealand 7.
And commentary of that is available on Sports Extra 3. It's one of the streams that is available through the BBC Sounds app. Todibo heads it away for West Ham. Ball lifted into the air by Potts. On the halfway line, Hartman heads it towards Anthony, barged over from behind by Wan-Bissaka. Barnet are leading MK Dons by a goal to nil in League Two. You're up to date with the goals as they go in.
Yeah, just look at Burnley. They're not panicked yet. I mean, there've been a couple of corners against them. West Ham, understandably, they were going to get a little bit of a part of the game, a little bit of possession, you know, a couple of decent-ish sort of crosses in. But so far, they've not been anything close to a clear-cut chance, has there?
No, there hasn't. We've been playing for 15 minutes and Fleming sliding in. It was Hartman with the cross on the left. And the blonde-haired Dutch player for Burnley must have been a matter of inches away from it. Hartman had got forward, got round the back of Wan-Bissaka, and he volleyed the cross in first time, didn't he? Fleming wasn't that far away.
No, he wasn't, and he made up good ground to get to as far as he did go.
Ooh, he had a flick at it, didn't he?
It's a wee memory of someone like Dirk Kuyt about him.
Yeah.
The way he moves, the way he gets into those sort of positions. He's stocky, but he's big and he's strong as well. Works very, very hard, but he was just half a yard short there.
Ugochukwu able to turn, tripped by Paquetá. Failed to have a shot on target against Arsenal. In fact, they've attempted just 74 shots so far in the top flight of Burnley, lowest in the Premier League. Although they have been, when they have created opportunities, they have been ruthless. Thinking back to the win at Wolves in particular.
Yeah, well, 5 goals in 2 games there, you know, and that's kind of not easy to do in the Premier League, especially down at the bottom regions.
Hartman delivers the free kick, headed out by Todibo just inside his penalty area. West Ham didn't push out though, and that meant that Chowner was able to retrieve the ball unchallenged for the Sky Blue of Burnley. Cullen, tidy midfielder. I remember when he left West Ham and went on loans to clubs such as Bradford City and Bolton and Charlton. Irish international, 29 years of age, will be wanting to impress against his former club as he passes the ball out wide. Falkirk are leading Livingston by a goal to nil. Livingston, who are bottom of the Scottish Premiership, a win would actually take them ahead of Dundee, but they are behind. Newport County are leading Walsall by a goal to nil, bottom of the table in League Two and winless at home, but they are leading against the leaders Walsall. Newport County 1, Walsall 0, and in fact Molly Stevens will bring us news of that goal.
Unbelievable goal it was as well, Ian. Kai Whitmore from just inside of the box, right-footed, lofted into the top right-hand corner. Who'd have thought it? Bottom club Newport take the lead against Walsall 1-0.
Thank you, Molly. 17 minutes played. Chowner for Burnley, up towards Fleming. Fleming will get in behind Todibo. There was a trip there. The referee didn't give it, the assistant referee did.
Well, and there weren't many complaints there, and actually he got up and started running again, didn't he? It was Fleming, wasn't it, that was fouled there, but the assistant referee's in a very, very good position.
And another goal at Newport, Molly.
Yeah, the lead didn't last long for Newport County. Daniel Kanu of Walsall, lovely bit of footwork inside of his own box, lofts it into the goal, and that is Walsall back in this 1-1.
Well, this is where West Ham United come in vulnerable from a set piece, and Hartman, the left back, has gone across towards that far side, the right to take it. So this will be an in-swinger. Chesterfield 0, Accrington Stanley 1, and it comes now flashed in by Hartman, and it goes out for a Burnley throw on that far side. Bit of whip on that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a brilliant cross, absolutely fantastic cross. And once again, Fleming, he's only inches away from it. He's getting into the right positions. He's not the only one who's challenging there. Twanzebe was in there as well. So once again, the ball's been fired in, be it throw-ins, corner kicks, free kicks. The questions have been asked for the long balls this season, aren't they?
The pocket of Burnley supporters are trying to make their voices heard. In comes the long throw. Fleming tries to flick it on. The referee's whistle is blown. There's been a goal at Middlesbrough in the Championship. Mike Miney.
Middlesbrough 1, Birmingham City 0. Corner from the right-hand side. Dale Fry got his head onto it. The captain back into the squad, headed it into the right-hand side of the goal. And Borough minus Rob Edwards are in front. Middlesbrough 1, Birmingham City 0.
Yeah, it's been a chaotic last 48 hours for Middlesbrough, but they are ahead against Birmingham, who arrived at the Riverside with back-to-back wins, and Southampton have got a second goal at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and Peterborough United have also got a second goal. They now lead AFC Wimbledon 2-0 at London Road. You're up to date. 5 Live and the World Service, and also available on the BBC Sounds app. 19 minutes played. Todibo left of the centre circle in the West Ham half. Then he goes back now with Fernandez, ball inside. Paquetá tried to just flick the header and guide it into the path of either Somerville or Wilson. Walker should clear. Wilson looks to try and close him down, and then Burnley, rather fortuitously, will get a throw over on that far side, the right.
What West Ham are trying to do is to try and get certain players into the game, getting on the ball in dangerous areas. And it's quite obviously they want Bowen, you want Somerville, which I mentioned before, but also Paquetá. In the last few minutes, they really haven't got any of those players on the ball at all, have they? And if they're going to win this game, I think that's what they're going to need to do.
Let's go back for that second goal then at Southampton with Andy Stevenson.
Yeah, and the second goal came from Finazaz, a brilliant finish low into the bottom corner. The man signed from Middlesbrough in the summer gets his first goal for Southampton. It's Southampton 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
I did the Burnley travelling supporter disservice. I mean, I don't get this place in terms of its configuration. It's not a football stadium at all. But they're actually separated, aren't they? So there's a bottom tier of Burnley support, which is packed. And then with that little bit of a gap to the next tier, which is elevated and set a little bit further back, there are some more Burnley supporters. As here is Somerville, edge of the area, looking for a shooting opportunity. He goes to ground but doesn't get the decision, and it'll be a free kick to Burnley. It is 0-0, and this has got very much the feel of two sides struggling in the Premier League. Molly Stevens at Newport.
Yeah, the last time I was here is a goal fest, and this afternoon it looks no different. It's Newport County 1, Walsall 2 now. Ryan Finnegan unmarked inside the box, easy for him, tap in. Newport County 1, Walsall 2.
They've turned that around rather quickly, haven't they, the leaders? Swindon second in the table, drawing 0-0 with Tranmere. Salford, who are third, also goalless at home to Cambridge, as Dubravka goes long downfield. Paquetá with a push on the back of Fleming, not spotted. And then Wilson is wrestled to the floor, and he gets the free kick for West Ham. Crying out for a goal.
It's crying out for a goal, but also opportunities. And it has been Somerville again. He would frustrate a lot of fans, but at least he's having a go. At least he's trying to go past players. At least there's a bit of zip about his play. So when he gets the ball, something happens. It's not always good, but something kind of happens. They need a little bit more of that. I keep on watching Callum Wilson, and you know if you give him chances, he's going to score. That his numbers are great when he's given chances. They're just not giving him enough chances so far.
Well, he tries to get on the end of that, but he was beaten in the air by Twanzebe. Then it's stabbed forward by Estev. Walker almost had his pocket picked by Somerville, and they went back towards Dubravka. He showed nifty footwork to get the ball away on that far side, but Somerville was alert. Who's looking sharp at Everton? John Bennett.
Well, Everton continue to dominate, still 0-0, but Fulham have had their first half chance. Alex Iwobi against his old club with a header straight at the goalkeeper. At the other end, James Garner with a free kick, good save by Bernd Leno. Everton 0, Fulham 0.
Here is Bowen. He's had a quiet introduction midway through the first half. West Ham have now lost it. Chowner picks it up and drives forward for Burnley. Chowner still going, but he was trapped by Fernandez, who made the challenge. That's why the West Ham supporters are applauding for that good bit of tracking back by Fernandez, who's now on the ball midway through his own half. Pat Nevin.
Just a few moments ago, Somerville, when he chased down the centre-back, he had no right to win it, but he got the ball back. It broke away and it went to the goalkeeper. It didn't stop, so he got behind it and he chased it. The fans got up. It enlivened the place. Problem is, the rest of the midfield didn't come up behind him.
Ugo Chukwu. Oh, he looked for a ball to Anthony, who was making a run in from the left touch line. I think it took a deflection on its way through, and therefore just took it out of the path of Anthony, who would have been running in towards the penalty area. Half-time in the Rugby League at Headingley. Sharon Shortle.
And it's England 8, Australia 12. After a half where it's felt like England at times were hanging on, there is just one try between them now. A penalty right on the whistle for half-time, given to England for a ball steal, allowed Smith to step up and add an extra 2. So it's England 8, Australia 12 at half-time.
Harrogate Town, who've lost 8 of their last 10 games, have fallen behind in North Yorkshire. Harrogate Town 0, Oldham 1 is the latest score in League 2. 0-0 at Everton, 0-0 here between West Ham United and Burnley. Wan-Bissaka goes into that challenge and he's committed and wins it. Ball picked up by Bowen. Gets a lucky touch away from Estev, then stopped in his tracks there by Florentino, who gives it back towards Anthony, and Anthony will not get past Paquetá, who runs into the back of Florentino. The referee has played the advantage, might be a good advantage. Ugo Chukwu with a shot, takes a deflection and goes through for a corner, and Paquetá is booked. Good refereeing by Michael Salisbury, and Paquetá now will be suspended. He will miss the Bournemouth game as a result. It's his 5th yellow card of the season.
Well, to be honest, the only disagreement I'd have with the referee is that they should have booked Paquetá earlier. He had a really quite slide little tackle earlier on there, left his foot in. This time, he just followed through. The ball's well away there. Absolutely nonsensical. No point at all about it. Just getting your team into a bit of difficulty, and also you're going to lose him for the next game, as you say. Not that impressive by Paquetá. We know he's got his qualities, but there's negatives in there as well.
So after the international break, West Ham's first fixture will be Bournemouth away on the 22nd of November, and Paquetá will be suspended as a result. Exeter City 0, Wigan Athletic 1 is the latest score in League One. Burnley temporarily are down to 10. And they've got a corner kick on that far side, the right. In it comes now, doesn't beat the first man, headed away. Cullen will volley the ball back out towards Hartman. On the Burnley right level of the penalty area. Left-footed cross comes in, headed out by Potts. The referee is blowing his whistle. It'll be a free kick to the home side. And still, Burnley are waiting to get Florentino patched up. And in fact, he's wearing a headband now, is the 26-year-old Portuguese midfielder.
I'm slightly surprised. You know, if you're playing against 10 men and you think we're going to have a minute or 2 or 3 minutes, you play it quickly. You get up there as fast as you can so that you can make use of that extra man. And they've not kind of really done that. Yeah, they finally got the ball to Somerville there, but they need to lift it a little bit, use that extra man you've got in the field. But they just weren't lively enough to do it, West Ham.
Also going to have a change of shirt, I think, for Florentino, but Chauner's running forward for Burnley nevertheless, and he comes forward now, and he's cross on the run, headed out by Wan-Bissaka, back towards Chauner, downward header by Kilman, directed the header down, and then somehow behind for a corner kick to Burnley, 0-0.
Actually done very well to keep that down there. I mean, it's very difficult. He's running onto it. He's actually having to catch it on the volley. What he's managed to do is Chauner, has done that. On his left foot, kept it down, bounced into the ground. Yes, it's got a little bit of deflection, but maybe one of the best pieces of play we've seen some Burnley so far this afternoon.
This is certainly a contender to be last on Match of the Day tonight at 10 to 11.
You've went early there. You've went very early.
I've gone early, but I've seen these types of games before. It'll be repeated at 7:45 in the morning, and by that time it'll still be last on Match of the Day. Corner kick is taken short. In it comes now from Anthony. Ugo Chukwu onto the floor, gets himself up off the floor. Back it goes towards Cullen. Cullen shoots, blocked from Fernandez. Comes all the way back out towards Walker. Florentino is back on the pitch, and they're back up to the full quota of 11. Here is Estep. Now towards Hartman. Chesterfield 0, Accrington Stanley 2. Sheffield Wednesday have got a goal back. Southampton 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Harry Amas, who's on loan from Manchester United, has got that goal as Walker skips away from one challenge, delivers the cross into the area, headed up by Todibo, drops on the edge of the box. Somerville's clearance goes towards Cullen for Burnley, plays it back, gives it to the midfielder, the captain of Burnley, and now with Kyle Walker to run forward. 28 minutes played, the cry of come on Burnley from the travelling support who've made that way down to East London from East Lancashire. And then on the edge of the area, Florentino can't get there, he falls over, and West Ham with a back pass towards Areola will clear it up towards the halfway line. So let's hear from that Sheffield Wednesday goal with Andy.
Oh, what a match, and what a goal from young Harry Amas. The ball was given away cheaply by Southampton. Amas pounced on it, turned smartly, and finished really well into the bottom corner. Southampton 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
What was the nudge for then?
It's Paquetá. He's winning another challenge there. I just thought, well, wait a minute. You're on a yellow card. You don't leave something on somebody at that point in time. Well, I shall double check, make sure it was. Actually, might have been Fernandez. I'll let you away with that one, Paquetá.
I won't let you away with it. You nearly took my front teeth out. I was busy looking down at my crib sheet, got a nudge, she knocked my right hand, and the lip mic nearly...
Didn't make a change for you taking them out.
Barnet 2, MK Dons 0 is the latest score in League 2. Areola.
You're going to get it back with interest every time, you know you are.
Yeah, I know. I've known you far too long. Free kick to West Ham. That was a blow on the back of the head there by Wilson.
Yeah, just the lack of urgency, isn't it? That's the thing that gets you about the game, you're saying it looks like last match of the day, and the reason being, you know, this is a vitally important game for West Ham. They're at home. We're surrounded by a gigantic stadium of 60-odd thousand people, and you can hear the Burnley fans. That's what you can hear. You need to lift them. The ball's gone to Somerville a few times, and it's lifted them. They want to be lifted. They're waiting there to be lifted. So far, it's rarely happened in this game.
Wan-Bissaka to Paquetá. Right-hand side level the area. Infield towards Bowen. Bowen looks towards Paquetá rather than shooting. Sliding back in was Potts. Imagine me without my front teeth. It's a game without any bite.
It would have looked very good in the last week or so around Halloween.
15 minutes to go to the break. Florentino loses out in the centre circle to Paquetá, who is undeterred by that yellow card and is still putting himself about, but it was a challenge won fairly. Wan-Bissaka almost stumbles on the ball but deceives Anthony and is able to run away from him as a result, but never looked in full control of the ball, did Wan-Bissaka.
Do you know what? If that's a dummy he's been working on, it's the best I've ever seen in my life. I think he just about broke his own ankle there as he tried to turn and found himself miles away, getting the ball, running towards the opposition 18-yard line, but I never think he quite got in control of his legs again after that. Another slightly lighter part of the game, which wasn't all about quality.
Rotherham United, who are unbeaten in 5, have got a second goal at home to Lincoln City, and another goal at the Riverside. Mike Miney.
Middlesbrough 1, Birmingham City 1. Patrick Roberts had a volley that was saved. That went behind from a corner. From that resulting corner, swung in, unmarked at the back post, was Damari Gray, who had a simple tap in, really leaning back, but he managed to send it in. Middlesbrough inquest with the referee. They feel there was some misgiving in the whole of that. Not given, so it's Middlesbrough 1, Birmingham City 1.
0-0 still here. Bright sunshine now under the blue skies, and Everton 0, Fulham 0 is also goalless live on Sports Extra.
Match of the day, I'll be thinking, thank goodness for the earlier game, which wasn't absolutely brilliant for long periods either, but what a phenomenal end for Manchester United and Spurs.
Yes, Tottenham were 1-0 down. They thought they'd won it with Richarlison at 2-1, and then De Ligt popping up to get a dramatic equaliser. 2-2 is that how it finished for that 12:30 commentary. Tomorrow on 5 Live, Nottingham Forest Leeds at 2. Brentford Newcastle will be live on Sports Extra, another 2 o'clock kickoff, as is Villa against Bournemouth. That'll be live on Sports Extra 2, and live on Sports Extra 3, Crystal Palace Brighton, and then Manchester City Liverpool at 4:30 with Dion Dublin and John Murray. 13 minutes to go to half time, 0-0. Anthony with the interception, and then given away by Florentino. West Ham, Paquetá towards Wilson, tries to lay it off towards Fernandes, couldn't take the ball with him, breaks down on the edge of the area. Chowner's up ball up towards Fleming. Fleming now lays it off. Cullen running forward and has got room to run into for the all sky blue of Burnley, playing from right to left. Fairhead Fleming goes out on that far side and then passes the ball back. Walker infield, Twanzebe. 12 minutes to go to the break. Bolton Wanderers are leading Port Vale by a 1-0. 7 successive home wins. They're going really, really well at Bolton in League One. Florentino just strokes the ball inside. This is Cullen, forward of the centre circle. And now with Walker, they're able to take it in comfortably with his right foot. Ugo Chukwu. West Ham have more or less got everybody back behind the ball. Only Wilson is now going forward, but there's no real pressure on the Burnley players at this stage. Here is Florentino, and as a result, Burnley, without really going anywhere, are able to pass the ball comfortably in that middle area of the field.
It's in military terms, it's a non-aggression pact. You know, the way that the Burnley broke there, they got up the right wing, the ball got to John Fleming, and you think, right, okay, attack the defender. You've got space now, you've got a little bit of help up there. Because it wasn't a clear path for him, he stopped, went back straight to his centre backs when they were in a really good position beforehand. And it's that willingness, that urgency, that effort to take a chance, do something different. Not enough players doing it so far.
Well, Walker's done it as he bursts forward on that right-hand side, and his ball into the penalty area has been dealt with only as far as Estev, combines with Cullen, has to quickly get it out because of the presence of Somerville, and then Twanzebe along the ground will spray it across to this near side, the Burnley left for Hartman, who back towards Florentino. In the South Yorkshire derby at Doncaster, Doncaster Rovers 0, Barnsley 1 is a latest score. But Burnley are actually looking assured in possession.
Yeah, being assured that the back's fine. You know, it's the easiest place in the world to play football is along your back line, because okay, they get pressured now and again, but you're not going to. They're easier passes. The hard passes in the final third, and they're not playing enough in the final third. They look to me as if they're a team that's trying to manipulate a situation where they can get, a free kick or a corner kick, something like that. That's what they're mostly looking for at the moment.
Here is Chowner from the downward header by Fleming, just outside the area. Passes the ball towards Ugochukwu, who delivers the cross. Fleming with the header. Burnley lead. Got to say that's a well-worked goal. Fleming actually started it with a downward header. They were patient in their approach. The cross came in, and then Fleming with a header back across goal, and Burnley lead 1-0.
Been waiting for the first 30 odd minutes for somebody to go down in the lane and make a chance, take a cross, just seeing a few moments beforehand. Why didn't people do that? It was Fleming who was the problem before. Go past someone, put a cross in, ask a question. Well, they finally done it that time, and the first time they do it with any distinction at all is Fleming, totally unmarked there, and it is the oldest of old school headers, right back towards the goalkeeper. They're going to have a look at offside here, which there is a possibility with the first ball that was played up towards Fleming. They're definitely going to have a look at that, Ian. But at the moment, it looks as if Fleming's got them ahead.
The former Millwall man with a header. Really good connection as well, wasn't it, Pat?
It was. I mean, it's classic. I mean, the classic way to head a ball. What you're taught, when it comes across the goal, if you're towards the back post, head it with power back towards where it was coming from, and keep it low. And I'm looking at just now, he's pointing towards. Yep, I think his goal's given.
The goal will stand. Like you say, it was his initial downward header to Chowner that they were looking at. There was nothing wrong with the actual header that got them with the goal, but he was deemed to be onside. Luton Town are leading at Stockport by 1-0, so the League One leaders at Edgeley Park have fallen behind. Dave Challoner's side were unbeaten in 7, but Luton have taken the lead there, and you are up to date with the goals as they go in. So Burnley, what a shot in the arm this would be for Burnley, bearing in mind that their last back-to-back away wins in the Premier League, July 2020. Just to get back-to-back wins for a struggling side is huge. But away from home, massive.
Yeah, massive away from home. But you know, what if we put them in the league? If they manage to hang on to these 3 points. However, this should change the attitude of Wickham.
Bowen with a shot. Took a deflection on its way through. Dubravka had it covered. It'll go behind for a corner kick.
And it has changed the attitude, hasn't it? Immediately. Bowen's got on the ball. He's got on the ball for the first time just outside the 18-yard line. Now, to be honest, opportunities to do that have been there, but they haven't taken them. I've just seen the offside before on the big screens here, which is great to see. And again, it was millimetres that he stayed onside, just millimetres.
Well, they fell behind to Newcastle and they came back to win by 3-1. They have fallen behind here at home to Burnley. In fact, that Newcastle time was the first time since May 24 they'd come from behind to win a game. In comes the cross, the header, goal bound, blocks, Hartman. In fact, it was a run of 32 league games when they had trailed that they'd come back to win. However, they could be falling further behind here because on the counter-attack, Chowner almost cuts it back towards Anthony. But Wan-Bissaka, running back in a central area, stopped the ball with a vital intervention on the edge of his own penalty area.
Great imagination about it as well. You know, it looks as if he was beaten there with that ball in, but that was an opportunity. Great break, classic break, exactly what you want to do if you're an away team. Had that ball going through, it was close to a tap-in.
There's a football game breaking out at the London Stadium. Here is Paquetá. Burnley lead by 1-0. Swansea 0, Ipswich 1, Crawley 1, Fleetwood Town 0. Fernandez with a cross. Wilson's there with a header, misdirected it. In fact, it came off Kwanzebe, who was tight behind him. Doncaster have levelled at home to Barnsley 1-1. Peterborough now lead Wimbledon by 3-0. We'll be going to Everton very soon, but we'll stay with a corner kick as West Ham look for an equaliser with some 6 minutes to go to half-time.
Yes, but we can now feel the urgency, not only in this place, but in your voice as well for the first time. So, yeah, well done West Ham for turning it up a bit. What took you so long? Why didn't you do this before? It was there to be done. You need that level of urgency from the start of games in the Premier League.
Potts with the corner kick on this near side. It'll come out to Somerville, edge of the area. Somerville shifts it onto his right foot, gets that effort blocked. Malik Diouf goes back to Wan-Bissaka, who runs forward to the centre circle, out towards Potts, who stayed out on this near side, the right, and back it goes to Wan-Bissaka. Malik Diouf has stayed forward. Anthony tries to close him down. Potts has stayed out wide on the right. Fernandes shuffles the ball forward. Bowen now has got a chance to run at Cullen. And his low ball into the penalty area. Esteve directs the ball away. Goal at Newport, Molly Stevens.
Yeah, Newport 1, Walsall 3. Ryan Finnegan gets his second of the game. Nutmegs the Newport keeper, who thought he'd stopped it from crossing the line. He bundled to the floor, but it already nudged itself over. Newport County 1, league leaders Walsall 3.
So Walsall are 3-1 up, they were 1-0 down. However, the League One leaders Stockport have fallen further behind at Edgeley Park. Stockport County 0, Luton Town 2 is the latest score. Somerville looking for a West Ham equaliser, looks for the return ball, doesn't get it, it'll go out for a goal kick. So Burnley have their noses in front. What's the latest? Everton, Fulham, John Bennett.
Rare attack at the moment from Fulham. It's 0-0. Tieno Barry thought he'd scored his first goal for Everton. Open goal, back post. The flag went up for offside. I think it was Unjai in the build-up offside. Everton 0, Fulham 0.
So with that goal, it means that still you have to go back to 1936 for a goalless draw between these two at West Ham. My homework paid off.
And you'll be able to use it again. If indeed both teams stay in the league.
Exactly. Yeah. When Burnley, incidentally, have scored first in the Premier League this season, and it's only happened on 3 occasions, but they have won all 3, and they are leading by a goal to 0. As we will go to Betty Glover for news of those 2 Luton goals.
Yeah, Stockport 0, Luton 2. Jake Richards scored the first. It came from a corner and he was there to turn it in at the far post. And the second goal was a wonderful free kick by Bramall, 20 yards out, straight into the top right-hand corner. It's Stockport 0, Luton 2.
Thanks, Betty. Barnet 2, MK Dons 1 is the latest score in League 2. Dubravka picks the ball up and will just roll it underarm towards Esteve, the Burnley central defender. Passes the ball to the left back Hartman, and 3 minutes to go to half time. When the goal initially went in, I was expecting sort of like hoots of derision or howls of uproar from the West Ham supporters. It struck me as a rather apathetic response. I'll be interested to see what the reaction is if the scoreline remains the same at half-time from the West Ham supporters. Indeed, it could get even worse as Hartman with the ball in, gathered though by Areola.
Yeah, it's a difficult position for West Ham supporters. They're very disappointed with a lot of things that are going on just now. But they also want to get behind their team. They don't want to trash their team. They want to make sure that they don't lose that belief that they've got the players on the field. So, yeah, difficult position during the game. They're stuck with them. But you're right, we will find out a lot at 45.
Somerville looks at Diouf on the overlap. His attempted cross from the left, blocked by Kyle Walker. Corner kick to West Ham. Burton Albion, have been doing all right away from home of late. They're without a defeat, no defeats in 5 away games, and Gary Bowyer could be having a happy return to Valley Parade because his Burton Albion side are leading at Bradford City, who've drawn their last 4 games, incidentally. So the top 2 in League One are both behind Stockport and Bradford City. West Ham are behind here in the Premier League. It's still 0-0 between Everton and Fulham, but West Ham have a corner kick on that far side, the left. And it's another in-swinger. Burnley have everybody back. Easy header out by Axel Twanzebe. This is a fifth successive start for Twanzebe, just starting to settle in. Bed in at the heart of that Burnley defence. Groans there as West Ham go back all the way to Areola, midway through his own half in these bright conditions as a cross comes in from the left, too deep. Esteve will head it away. Anthony rises in the air. Malik Diouf has stayed out on this near side, the right. He'll deliver a right-footed cross. It's deep towards the far post. Walker concedes the corner kick, and we'll go to Naz Premji at Valley Parade for news of that Burton goal.
Yes, Bradford City 0, Burton Albion 1. It was an old-school goal-mouth scramble, and Jake Beasley from a yard out heads in. Bradford City 0, Burton Albion 1.
Corner taken quickly. Somerville with a shot, took a deflection on his way through, and there was Callum Wilson with a close-range header. 90 seconds before half-time, his first goal for West Ham at the London Stadium brings them level 1-1.
Well, a couple of things. They've not given him anything to work on whatsoever, Callum Wilson. And the first time the ball comes into him in the box with any space at all, he turns it into the net. We've got to give classic strikers opportunities. He's not had any until this moment, and he puts it in the net. Ball played to Somerville on the right hand side. I've been talking about him all day. You know, he's the one that's had the liveliness, the sharpness, and he's the one that gets the ball from the short corner kick. By the way, I'll keep on chatting for a moment here because they're checking for offside for Somerville from that short corner kick. It must have been very, very tight. They are checking it just now, but Somerville had played very, very well to get into good position, to get the cross in, but Wilson put it in, but we still have to wait.
Because Wilson was onside, wasn't he?
He was onside, yeah, Wilson's onside, there's no problem there. No, it's the first ball that was played from a short corner. It was played back to Somerville, and it's always the most dangerous one at short corner. And he was very, very tight. I noticed that at the time he was tight. They're just checking it.
Meanwhile, goal will stand. 1-1 it is. Barrow 1, Grimsby Town 2. Huddersfield are leading Plymouth by 1-0 in League One, and there's been another goal at Newport. Molly Stevens.
What an unbelievable match this is. Just the first half. Newport County are back in this match. Newport County 2, Walsall 3. Gerard Garner, who got the assist for the first goal, has just scored his own. Newport County 2, Walsall 3.
4 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. West Ham 1, Burnley 1. And Somerville is sent scampering away on that far side. Somerville darts into the penalty area, but they've doubled upon him, and then Somerville will foul Walker, and that will be a free kick to Burnley. We'll go back to Everton. John Bennett.
Another disallowed goal for Everton. It's still 0-0. James Tarkowski finding the back of the net after a good save from the keeper from a Michael Keane header, but the flag had gone up offside. Everton 0, Fulham 0.
Update in the Rugby Union, Ailey Barber.
New Zealand have extended their lead, a penalty from Bowden Barrett. So as we approach the half-hour mark, it is Scotland 0, New Zealand 10. Some great defence from Scotland, but they've just had a few handling errors in the passages of play they've had going forward. So Scotland 0, New Zealand 10.
Thanks, Ailey. Commentary of that is on Sports Extra 3. Incidentally, later on, England play Fiji in the Rugby Union, and we'll have commentary on Sports Extra from 5:25. There's a West Ham player down. Somerville it is getting treatment.
There were two, actually. Yeah, because what happened with Ian, with Wan-Bissaka, he had injured himself earlier. He's gone down, but there's not a physio to take care of him, so he stood up again.
So 1-1 here. That's Pat Nevin. This is Pat Murphy.
Stoke 0, Coventry 0, and that's a surprise because it's passionate, volatile, chances at either end. Torp, lovely shot, tipped over by Stokes Johannesson from 25 yards. At the other end, Manhoof almost got in at the far post to Silva, got a crucial nick just in time. Surprise, only be one booking. Coventry's right. Stoke 0, Coventry 0.
Burton Albion have got a second goal at Bradford City. Bradford City 0, Burton Albion 2. So Stockport and Bradford, 1 and 2 in League One, are both 2-0 down at home this afternoon. Somerville is back to his feet at least, Pat.
Yeah, it's not a foul. I mean, it's in the box there, and if some West Ham fans are hoping to get a penalty kick off that, absolutely no chance. He ran into the defender and he created the foul, but hurt himself in the meantime. Anyway, good to hear from Pat Murphy there. Sounded in great quality, I thought.
You don't miss a trick, do you, Pat? We are into added time here at London Stadium. Let's get news of that second goal from Burton with Naz.
Back to front it was, and Charlie Webster sliding it at the near post. Bradford City 0, Burton Albion 2, and Bradford is pretty quiet currently.
No other goals to tell you about around the country. 1-1 here at the London Stadium in stoppage time.
I said I thought you went a wee bit early when you said it was a dull game at 0-0, but we've got a bit lucky. Those two goals at the end there, you could hardly see them coming, could you, at the end of this first half?
No, you couldn't. What would your analysis be of this first half then?
Do you know what? I just expected a little bit more from West Ham. You know, after the last game against Newcastle, when that passion that had been missing, thought, right, okay, you've got it back now. Now, you wouldn't mind them playing badly, but you expected more passion. And it just hasn't been quite enough for a team that's really struggling against relegation. I'm not saying going through the motions, but it's not far above that.
Here is Hartman. Anthony's got something to chase. Fernandez will go back and tidies it up towards the goalkeeper Areola, who clears downfield. Cullen will head it forward. There's just no atmosphere. It's soulless.
I know, but then it's chicken and egg. Which one is it? Is it because the fans haven't been excited by the players aren't being excited by the fans?
All of a sudden, maybe they've got something to excite them now. Wilson looks for a ball towards Somerville. Couldn't take it in his stride, and it was easily dealt with by Kyle Walker. Remains 1-1. Everton-Fulham, there's been a goal. John Bennett.
Finally a breakthrough for Everton. Everton 1, Fulham 0. It's a Drissagay from close range after a goal-mouth scramble, a header which hit the bar. It bounced down a couple of Everton players, swung at the ball, and then a Drissagay was there. Right place, right time, edge of the 6-yard box. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
And Chesterfield have got a goal back in League Two. Chesterfield 1, Accrington Stanley 2. Got no idea as to... there was only 4 minutes, but it was a minimum of 4. We're already into the 5th because of the injury to Somerville. So we might be playing for another 60 seconds before Nuno Espirito Santo and Scott Parker can have a word with their respective players.
It's a little bit of a shame there because the breakthrough that once again Somerville, he was through there and the ball was played to his feet. I think it was Callum Wilson who played it to him. That's not the thing to do in that moment there. If that ball had been Bowen sliding that ball through, he'd have slid it through in front of Somerville to run onto. They wouldn't have caught him. So there have been other opportunities for opportunities, if you know what I mean. You know, like they've not had an opportunity, but it's the final ball that with the very, very best players, you see that final ball being played and getting through. Too often it's been the case. That hasn't happened today with these two teams.
That's Pat Nevin with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live, also live on the World Service and available through the BBC Sounds app as well. West Ham just inside their own half, had a throw, but there was no time to take it because Michael Salisbury, the referee, has blown his whistle. So a Fleming header gave Burnley the lead after 35 minutes, and then 9 minutes later Wilson with a close range header equalises. Pat.
It could have been murmurs, it could have been boos, but it's polite applause because they got that last goal. But to be fair, I think West Ham fans are quite used to seeing performances like this. It's not brilliant, not awful, it's a bit mediocre.
Yeah, we'll never find out what that reaction would have been had it been 1-0 to Burnley. I think Burnley would take the point, but West Ham, with the games that they've got coming up, probably need all three. But it's half-time here at the London Stadium. West Ham United 1, Burnley 1.
Everton Fulham in the Premier League. John Bennett.
We are seconds away from the half-time whistle. Everton 1, Fulham 0. Drissagay lifting this place. His goal deep into injury time. A header hit the bar. Arubinum came very close to scoring from close range. He missed his shot there, though, and Drissagay followed up, fired it into the back of the net. Before that, 2 disallowed goals for Everton, so they were really frustrated. Still the half-time whistle doesn't go. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
Half-time's coming in, but there's been a goal just before the interval at the Riverside in the Championship. Mike Maine.
And Middlesbrough are back in front. Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 1. Aidan Morris from outside the box, low shot, deflected, goalkeeper flat-footed, and it snuck into the bottom left-hand corner. Adi Vivash in charge today with Rob Edwards not here. Barely moved on the celebration. It is Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 1.
Middlesbrough going second in the Championship as it stands to Murrayfield, Scotland, New Zealand in the autumn internationals. Ailey Barber.
Scotland on the attack. It's been a really exhilarating first half. This Scotland's defence has been unbelievable. It was breached very early on through Cam Roygaard, though a really good break from the Loch Lord set up Roygaard to go over for an easy finish, and then added the extras. Beauden Barrett, he's also added a penalty. So New Zealand do lead 10-0 here, but Scotland are coming forward. Twice they've been over the line, twice it's been held up. Scotland are pushing for a try before the break. 35 minutes gone. It's Scotland 0, New Zealand 10.
Commentary on Sports Extra 3. Whistle at Everton. John.
Yeah, half-time, Everton 1, Fulham 0. What a difference a goal makes, because it had been quite a hostile place before the goal from Drissagay deep into first half injury time, scoring from close range after a header hit the bar, because the Everton fans were frustrated with the referee, frustrated by the fact they had 2 goals disallowed. Tiano Barry with one of them. Michael Keane's header also hit the bar, Tarkowski following in, but that was offside as well. At the other end, Fulham have offered very little. Raul Jimenez with a shot straight at the goalkeeper, also an Alex Iwobi header straight at the goalkeeper. They've been really poor. Everton deserve the lead. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
Into the Championship, half-time in the meeting between the top 2. Pat Murphy.
It's Stoke 0, Coventry 0. Coventry look the more composed side. The passing of Grimes particularly impressive. Torp looks dangerous, breaking through from midfield. Unmarked, edge of the box, scooped it over the bar, should have done better. Went close early on, great save from Johannesson. At the other end, Stoke can't quite unpick the lock, but the team with the best defensive record, Stoke, against the team with the most goals, Coventry, at the moment is stalemate, and that's a surprise. Stoke 0, Coventry 0.
Half-time at the racecourse. Lee Blakeman.
Wrexham 0, Charlton 0, the visitors with the two best chances. Sonny Carey forcing a good save from Arthur Okonkwo inside the first minute, and Harvey Nibbs hit the crossbar just towards the end of the half. Wrexham have seen Cleworth have a shot tipped over, and Moore and Broadhead fire wide. Needs a goal, this one. Wrexham 0, Charlton 0.
Southampton, Sheffield Wednesday, half-time there. Andy Stevenson.
Southampton lead 2-1. It's a good game with plenty of chances. Southampton took the lead through an unusual goal from Casper Yander. A Liam Palmer clearance rebounded off Casper, who ghosted into the area. The Wednesday keeper Ethan Horvath got a strong hand on it, but the ball went just over the line. Finn Azaz then doubled the Saints' lead with a brilliant finish. That's his first goal for this club. But Sheffield Wednesday pulled one back. A really composed run and shot from outside the area by Harry Amas, who's on loan from Man United. Southampton haven't won back-to-back league matches since April 2024. Southampton 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
It's now half-time at the Riverside. Mike Minor.
Yeah, Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 1. Captain Dale Spry header had the hosts in front. Damari Gray pounced on a loose ball from a corner to make it 1-1. Then Aidan Morris's deflected shot has the hosts in front. But it's not all good news. Both sides have lost players in the first half. Big worry for Birmingham is that Paik has a suspected dislocated shoulder. He picked that up early on. Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 1.
Some of the half-times for you in the Championship. Swansea 0, Ipswich Town 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, Oxford United 0. Let's check in on Norwich Leicester. In fact, the half-time whistle's just gone. Mark Webber.
Yeah, it's 0-0. It's easy to see why these two teams are struggling for wins. Plenty of energy from both sides, but the chances that fell were way off the mark. For Norwich, Josh Sargent's shot intercepted by the leg of Caleb Okoli to push it over. Jovan Makama's shot pushed inches wide of the back post. For Leicester, Jordan Ayew just over in the area. Patson Daka heading wide 6 yards out. And Leicester have lost Ben Nelson, stretched it off after rolling his ankle. Norwich City 0, Leicester City 0.
Reminder of the full times from earlier in the Championship. Blackburn 1, Derby 2, Hull 3, Portsmouth 2 and Millwall 1, Preston 1. Into League 1, Stockport, Luton has reached half-time. Betty Glover.
League 1 leaders Stockport are behind at the break, and they'll be thinking, how on earth did this happen? Well, I'll tell you, 2 goals in 4 minutes for Luton. But the thing is, Stockport had been looking so threatening, so many chances, but they just didn't take them, and Luton did. Jake Richards getting onto the end of a corner at the far post, his first goal for the club before Bramall scored from a beautiful free kick. Luton on track for 4 straight wins, Steve. Stockport 0, Luton 2.
What about Bradford City right up toward the top of the table? They trail at half-time to Burton as Premji.
Bradford City 0, Burton Albion 2. The visitors making history, looking for their first ever win here. Jake Beasley headed in from close range after a scramble saw Toby Sibbick's effort cleared off the line. Then a fast break moments later, Kyron Lofthouse with the ball across the box and Charlie Webster sliding in left side to steer home. Bradford did have their moments. Josh Neufeld came closest for them, but work to do to preserve this good record here at the University of Bradford Stadium. Bradford City 0, Burton Albion 2.
Bradford dropping to third, Cardiff City going up to second as it stands half-time in their game at Blackpool. Adam Cottier.
It's goalless here. Cardiff have done everything they can. They are largely dominant, aggressive with their approach. They've had several chances. Some brilliant saves from Bailey Peacock-Farrell in the Blackpool goal have kept them out. But one issue for Cardiff was when Tom Bloxham struck a long-range shot against the base of the post. Blackpool 0, Cardiff 0.
Other half-times for you then. Bolton lead Port Vale by 2-0. It's Doncaster 1, Barnsley 1, Wigan are 1-0 up at Exeter City. Lee Grant's Huddersfield, they lead Plymouth by 1-0 at the break. Peterborough 3, AFC Wimbledon 0, 2 goals for Harry Leonard for Peterborough in that one. And it's Rotherham United 2, Lincoln 0 at half-time. Into League 2, Newport County against the leaders Walsall. Molly Stevens.
Just the 5 goals in the first half. The league's bottom club took the lead in tremendous fashion. Kai Whitmore let a shot fly from the edge of the box which sailed into the top corner. The league leaders responded instantly through their top scorer, Daniel Kanu. He had another attempt saved, and Ryan Finnegan, unmarked, tucked away the rebound. Finnegan hadn't scored for Walsall until today. Then he struck again for their third, and it looked like it was all over for Newport, but Gerard Garner said game on and made it Newport County 2, Walsall 3.
It's half-time in the game between Salford and Cambridge United. Ben Croucher.
Send some goals my way, Molly. Goalless at the break. Bit of a snooze fest this one, sadly. My notepad is bare. Mid-table Cambridge playing the better football. Salford with the best chances. Kelly Namai sending a lob wide, then firing a close-range effort past the post too when he should have at least hit the target. Salford slipping to 4th as it stands. It's Salford 0, Cambridge 0.
Our other feature game is Swindon versus Tranmere in League 2. Laura Kenyon.
Half-time, Swindon 0, Tranmere 0. Swindon looking to return to the top of the table but lacking quality at the county ground. Darren Oldacre with a long-range free kick on the stroke of half-time, the only save they forced without their top scorer due to suspension, and it's showing. Swindon manager Ian Holloway, I'm sure his half-time team talk will be far more interesting than the football we've watched so far. Swindon 0, Tranmere 0.
Half-time, Barrow 1, Grimsby Town 2. So as it stands, Grimsby going above Swindon into second in the table. Barnet 2, MK Dons 1. Bristol Rovers 0, Gillingham 0. Crawley lead Fleetwood, who've had a man sent off, 1-0 at half-time. It's Chesterfield 1, Accrington 2. And Harrogate, who are on a rotten run at the minute, trail again, this time at half-time to Oldham. In the Scottish Premiership, half-time, it's Falkirk 1, Livingston 0. Brian Graham with the penalty for Falkirk. St Mirren Hibs is a 5:45 kick-off. In the National League, it finished Aldershot 2, Forest Green 3. These are the latest scores. Boreham Wood going top of the table as it stands because they lead by a 0 in their game at Brackley Town. Elsewhere, Boston United 0, second place Rochdale 1, Eastleigh 2, York City 1. FC Halifax and Hartlepool, that's 0-0 at half-time, as is Gateshead versus Solihull Moors. Morecambe leads Sutton by a 0. It's Scunthorpe 1, Yeovil 0. Woking lead by a 0 at Tamworth. Altrincham currently level at Truro 0-0. Wealdstone 0. Braintree 0. Scottish Championship half-time, Dunfermline 1, St Johnstone 1. St Johnstone the leaders in that league. Morton 1, Arbroath 0. Queen's Park 1, Wraith 1. And Ross County 2, Ayr 1. Scottish League 1 next. Hamilton are 2-0 up at half-time against Peterhead. It's Inverness 1, Cove Rangers 0. Inverness the league leaders, going 3 points clear at the moment. Montrose trail at half-time 1-0 to Alloa. It's Queen of the South 2, East 5-0. And Kelty Hearts are leading by a 0. Only 2 wins all season for them, but they're 1-0 up at third place Stenhouse Muir. Scottish League 2, the leaders are Spartans, but they are trailing 1-0 at half-time to Forfar. Other scores, Edinburgh City 1, Elgin 0. East Kilbride 1, Stirling 0. Dumbarton 1, Annan 0. And Clyde 0, Stranraer 0. What about Scotland's rugby team in the autumn internationals against New Zealand? Ailey Barber.
New Zealand have added a final flourish to a first half that has been, apart from New Zealand's clinical edge, fairly evenly matched. They started the half with a try through Cam Roigard very early on, New Zealand, and Barrett added the conversion for that. But from then on, Scotland put on an unbelievable defensive display for around 10 minutes, camped on their 5-metre line, and then they started to get the ball in hand. They started to get forward. Twice they've been across the try line, once through Darcy Graham and once through Rory Hutchinson. Both were held up by New Zealand, and then right before the end, New Zealand down to 14, a yellow card for Carter, but then the final try that has put a real gloss on this first half performance. Jordan putting the finishing touch on a great break by the man named after William Wallace Satiti. He found the gap, he fed Jordan, he went over for his 44th try in an All Blacks jersey, and it's a half-time team talk that I think Gregor Townsend will feel is a little bit different to what he's seen out on the pitch. It's been a solid Scotland performance. They haven't had the clinical edge, New Zealand have, and at the half-time break it is Scotland 0, New Zealand 17.
There's commentary of that on Sports Extra 3. What about that final Rugby League Ashes test? England-Australia, of course. Sharon Shortle.
Still no change from the half-time score. England 8, Australia 12. It's been an intense and fiery at times second half. England have really come out well, but Australia still looking to push and take any chance they can get. But still, neither try line has been breached. It's England 8, Australia 12, and we've got 20 minutes remaining.
You're up to date with all of the live sport. Lisa McCormick has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. It's thought there's going to be a shake-up of the immigration system modelled on the Danish system, which is one of the toughest in Europe. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has tasked officials with studying the country's border control and asylum practices. The Home Office says almost 650 people crossed the English Channel in 9 boats yesterday after a fortnight of bad weather. 38,000 migrants have made the crossing so far this year. Police say a woman in her 30s is in a critical condition after being stabbed in the neck in an unprovoked attack in Birmingham city centre last night. A man in his 20s has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. And the TV presenter Quentin Wilson has died aged 68. The former Top Gear host had been suffering from lung cancer.
I've just looked down on the teams walking out, the Premier League's clash of the Titans.
On 5 Live Premier League Sunday.
Any team in the Premier League would take Haaland right now. We are so blessed. The numbers are outstanding.
Can they deal with the pressure? This is going to be some game, and I think there'll be a lot of goals in this one.
Manchester City versus Liverpool.
This team knows that we can play really well.
Now it's about drip feeding in your newer players. They're having a tough spell. They seem to be through that
now. Tomorrow at 4:30.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Second half commentary on the way on 5 Live of West Ham 1, Burnley 1, and on 5 Sports Extra of Everton 1, Fulham 0. Manchester United came from behind to draw 2-2 with Tottenham at the London Stadium in the early kick-off. Spurs looked to have won it before a 96th minute equaliser from Matthijs de Ligt. Here's United boss Ruben Amorim.
If you look at the game, it was there. The 3 points was there to take, and you can felt the environment. We were comfortable in the game. I think we can be so much better and to understand what's happened in the game. To have more possession, the space was there. We create. We lack a little bit the 30 meters in the final third. The quality was not perfect, but we fight in every adversity. We lost Harry Maguire. We lost Casemiro with pain. We lost Seško, we suffered 2 goals, and we managed to draw the game, and that is a good sign.
However, as you say, the performance was far from perfect for both sides. There was a lack of quality at times.
It happens sometimes. I think we had so much space to play, and that lack of quality in the simple things of the game wasn't there. So we move on 1 point, and we need to improve for the next one.
That's the Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim. Ball on the centre spot at the London Stadium. Ready for second half commentary in the Premier League of West Ham Burnley with Pat Nevin and Ian Dennis.
And perfect timing because we're underway. 1-1 between West Ham United and Burnley. West Ham United in their mainly claret tops and white shorts, playing from right to left as we look against Burnley in the all sky blue. And neither side has made a change. Areola then in goal for West Ham, Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman and Malik Diouf. Potts, Paquetá and Fernandes, Bowen, Wilson the goal scorer and Somerville. It was an equaliser for Callum Wilson because, however, they're now looking to try and take the lead with Bowen right hand side of the area, but his low cross is snuffed out. Dubravka's in goal for Burnley. Walker, Twanzebe, Esteve and Hartman are the defence. Ugochukwu, Cullen and Florentino the midfield. Chowner, Fleming their goal scorer, gave him a 35th minute lead, and Anthony makes up the 11. So there's going to be a throw to West Ham. It's level with the penalty area on the right hand side. We're 60 seconds into the second half here at the London Stadium, where still we have those clear blue skies up above, and the all sky blue of Burnley will get a throw. And there's been a goal at Blackpool in League One, Adam Cottier.
And second bottom, Blackpool are ahead. Blackpool 1, Cardiff 0. Ashley Fletcher driving into the box, ball on his left foot. He found the near post top corner. Blackpool 1, Cardiff 0.
So the top 3, Stockport, Bradford and Cardiff, are all losing. Starting to bunch up rather nicely at the top there now with Bolton's impressive form. They're only 2 points off the top as it currently stands. And it's 1-1 here. Remember, Everton lead Fulham by a goal to 0. Let's get the early thoughts of Pat Nevin in the second half as Chesterfield have equalised 2-2 at home to Accrington.
Well, very quickly say, what is the most noticeable thing here is the way people are sauntering very slowly back to the stadium. I mean, really, there's so many seats and they really show up. They're empty because a lot of them are white, and people are in no rush to get back to see this. I wonder why.
Back heel from Fleming, Ugochukwu enters the penalty area with a cutback. That was stopped by Potts and then clattered away by Diouf. Southampton 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1 is a latest score at St Mary's. Andy Stevenson.
It's the best possible start to the second half, and it's a beauty of a goal from Adam Armstrong. He gets on the end of a direct ball, cuts inside his marker Liam Palmer, and then finishes really cutely with the outside of his right boot. It's Southampton 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Been a good start for Tonda Eckhart, their interim manager, looking for back-to-back wins. Get an update in the Rugby League, Sharon Shortle.
15 minutes to go here at Headingley. It's England 8, Australia 18. Harry Grant spotting a gap from acting half and exploiting it to dive over. Cleary again converting. England 8, Australia 18.
Swansea City have equalised at home to Ipswich Town in the Championship. Swansea 1, Ipswich 1. Just 2 defeats in their last 10 for Ipswich. Against the Swansea side, just 1 win in 6. Here is Florentino. He's done away with that strapping around the head from the first half bang that he took. As Burnley, all in sky blue with Hartman at a walking pace. Florentino now, every outfield player is in the West Ham half away towards our right. Tuanzebe just comes forward, almost caught in possession by Somerville, but Burnley still have it. Florentino now can come forward. He's got Fleming making a run through the middle, but they keep it in that central area. Ugachukwu and Cullen also got a touch. Hartman now is forced out wide. His cross is blocked, loops up in the air, bouncing ball. He'll be happy to see that go behind for a corner kick, but it didn't do so. West Ham have cleared it up towards Bowen, battling for it, but then he's lost it. And now this is an opportunity for Burnley with Cullen, but he passes the ball back out towards that left-hand side. Hartman now looks for the delivery. It's a low ball in from the left, and there was Potts in his own penalty area, and Fernandes will clear it long, and Wilson will give chase, but Tuanzebe in that foot chase will see it all the way first, and he's able in fact to turn. Pat.
Just looking at the way that Burnley played there, really nice start the way they started the second half there without rushing it, just a little bit of control, getting into decent positions, but that final little classy ball that you want to be seeing just not been anywhere near good enough, apart from that one opportunity they made at the end of the first half. It's the scored.
Malik Diouf passes the ball to Debo after keeping the ball in play on this near side. Everton-Fulham, what's the latest? John Bennett.
Everton 1, Fulham 0. Fulham were really poor first half, and the manager Marco Silva has made a change. Josh King on, Sasha Lukic off. Already he's made a good run down the right-hand side. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
That's live on Sports Extra.
I was talking about the various players, we're saying you're not getting enough out of them, but I would say, Somerville, look, every time he gets the ball he tries to do something. But there's one more, Kilman. However, that man Somerville, he just went too early. But the other one's Kilman. I have to say, I really, really like his attitude. He's attacked everything. When his corner kicks have come in, he's always the one that's attacking it more than anyone else. So, you need the passion from the most of the team, if not all of the team. But I would certainly say those two have shown it for West Ham today.
Well, certainly for Kilman, you get a degree of consistency as well. He's been an ever-present in the Premier League in the last 2 seasons. He's just passed 50 appearances since he was reunited with Lopetegui, who brought him here to West Ham. Exeter City have equalised at home to Wigan in League One. Exeter City 1, Wigan Athletic 1. Ball given away by West Ham. Further groans. Remember, there were protests, and sizable protests too, against the border ahead of kick-off. But
no, actually had them inside the ground.
No,
not that I've seen anyway. There have been times recently where inside the ground it's been going on, and there's complaints. You can see the fury, but they haven't been behind for a long time. If they did lose this one, that would be interesting to see the reaction you got from the fans inside the ground.
Florentino's forward ball, Anthony can't keep it in play. But I'll tell you what, with that in mind, Pat, to give you an indication of how long there has been that disillusioned feel amongst the West Ham supporters, when Burnley came here in 2018 and they won by 3-0, that was the occasion that Mark Noble, you might recall, clashed with a pitch invader.
I do remember it, yeah.
That was 7 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, there's some banners that have been up, 15 years or so of the club, all that sort of stuff. There's bad feeling around here.
Fans not happy at West Ham. Fans won't be happy at West Brom. West Bromwich Albion 0, Oxford United 1 is the latest score in the Championship, as Michael Salisbury, the referee, will give West Ham United a free kick just in from the right touchline. And we've been playing for 7 minutes in this second half.
Another chance for Kilman to go and attack it. It's every single time it's gone in there, he's the one. It doesn't seem to matter where he is. He goes and attacks it and asks a couple of questions. They might not always win it, but it makes problems for the defence, and you might get a little bounce down somewhere else. So we'll see if there's the quality of the ball in here is good enough.
Well, Chowner is the isolated figure who stands, and then you've got Anthony 6 yards further back from him, so it's like a staggered wall. But then that free kick is just lifted straight down the throat of Dubravka. Walker tries to shuffle the ball past Somerville, gets a lucky break, able to find Chowner. Walker's going to continue that run. Chowner passes the ball now to Cullen, little spin in the halfway line, and then Cullen will spread play out towards Anthony, and Anthony will run forward. Hartman on the overlap, but Anthony will run into that space. Hartman in the end stops his running. Paquetá is being pulled back, and eventually the referee will give the free kick. Bristol Rovers 0, Gillingham 1, and Gillingham taking the lead with Gareth Ainsworth back in the dugout today after his time away after heart surgery, so that's heartening to hear. And Gillingham are leading. Swansea 1, Ipswich Town 2 is the latest score in the Championship, and yet another goal for Molly Stevens at Newport.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, Ian, well, we've yet to have a shot in the early stage to this second half. Why was I so surprised? Rico Brown has nudged in Walsall's 4th from a free kick. Unbelievable match this. Newport County 2, bottom of the league I should say. Walsall top, 4 goals.
Yes, and Walsall looking to move to 29 points and would extend their lead, I think, as it currently stands, because Swindon and Salford are both drawing behind them. 1-1 here, 9 minutes into the second half. It's 5 Live. We're also live on the World Service. Potts just drops in between the two central defenders. Ball goes to Debo, now towards Malik Diouf, almost pulled back by Chowner. But back towards Tadibo once again. Kilman, Wan-Bissaka is ahead of him on that far side, the right. Let's find out about the League One leaders, Stockport. Betty Glover.
Well, it's not their day, but it is Luton's day. It is Stockport 0, Luton 2. Stockport were given a penalty after Bailey was pulled down in the area. Nathan Lowe took it, bearing in mind he's scored in their past 3 games, and his penalty was saved. A big diving save by Josh Keeley in the Luton goal, and it stays Stockport 0, Luton 2.
Fleming's just being shown a yellow card for a trip on Potts.
And again, a pointless one. They weren't going anywhere. There was plenty of players over in cover there, and he's just flicked out his boot. A little tiny wee bit of frustration, but a nonsensical yellow card, because you could end up going off the pitch with something silly like that later.
In comes the free kick. Paquetá drives it into the ground from the left-hand side of the area. Cullen berates his team as he clears, and it goes out for a West Ham throw. West Brom have equalised. 1-1 now at home to Oxford United in the Championship. Here is Fernandez. Malik Diouf. Still, you don't feel a sense of urgency particularly from the home side, where I think the owners should be on there.
Yeah, 100%. Now, if they manage to play this way, and this is what the manager wants, and they go and sneak a win out of it, then yeah, you've got it absolutely right. But they'll kick themselves if they don't win this game, having not given everything they've got, because they should be. Because this is survival in the Premier League you're talking about now.
Paquetá, good play by Paquetá to Bowen. Paquetá tried to switch it, peels for a handball against Hartman. Florentino tried to run it out of the midfield. All of a sudden now a bit of a crowd response, and maybe West Ham can try and get a bit of a momentum building here inside the London Stadium, as it remains 1-1 and what has been a low quality game.
Yep, okay, but they've tried to take a quick throw in there, which, I would argue that's the first one they've tried to get in the game so far, so not a bit of a disappointment that they weren't able to get away with doing that there. But you're right, it will probably build up as the game goes on. You can hear the fans getting a little bit anxious, a bit frustrated, trying to slightly get behind their team, particularly those West Ham fans, because eventually at some point in this game something will happen that will raise the temperature in this. Well, I hope so.
You're not the only one. Florentino to Anthony, back to Florentino. His back pass, Esteve. Wilson almost cut it out. Then they go back to Dubravka, and we'll go back to Everton and John.
Everton 1, Fulham 0. A third disallowed goal of the game for Everton. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall this time firing in after Mikalenko's cross had caused chaos. Offside. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
Here is Ugo Chukwu. Anthony is to his left in the penalty area, stands over the cross. Fleming with a looping header, and it dropped onto the roof of the net and out for a goal kick. I think Areola had it covered. He just made a swishing movement, but he didn't get a touch. Goal kick, 1-1.
The problem is the build up there. The little ball through, is it Ugo Chukwu, he puts it down the left hand side there. Just push it too wide. You don't need to put it that wide, and that means that the cross, when it comes in, it's not going to have any power in it. It's not going to have a zip in it. And yes, well done. You get Jayden Anthony gets to the back lane there and clips it over to the back post, but in reality it's a ball before that. It has to be played correctly, and it's a wee bit that lazy last minute, last pass before you get a little bit of opportunity. It has to be precise, and that has been seriously lacking this afternoon.
Rotherham 3, Lincoln City 0 as they look to extend their unbeaten run to 6. Freddie Potts is down at the moment for West Ham. Let's get the team news from Sunderland, and John Murray, feel free to take your time.
Well, I actually haven't got much to tell you, Ian, in all honesty. Sunderland are unchanged, the same team as against Everton here on Monday night, and the leaders Arsenal are still without Gyökeres, so they make 3 changes from Prague in the Champions League, but just 1 from the league last weekend, so that is Marino in for Gyökeres, and that's it.
Thank you. James McFadden will be alongside John for commentary at 5:30 after Sports Report, with all the results and the reaction here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Potts is on his feet, he's walking off the field of play. It's about to resume, it's still at 1-1. What's the latest with you, Pat, at Stoke?
It's still 0-0 here, and it's just a case of who's going to blink first. Very, very tight game. Right for Coventry, almost through. Wilmot and the keeper Johansson got him in the sandwich, a legitimate sandwich. And then Johansson, 25 yards shot from Mason Clark, gathered at the second attempt. Stoke 0, Coventry 0.
That top of the table clash in the Championship. Remember, Middlesbrough leading Birmingham City by 2-1. They were third this morning. What can't have been an easy last 48 hours for all concerned, with the uncertainty regarding the Rob Edwards stance that he took, but he'll become the new manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers as a former Wolves player in Kilman. Across the back it goes towards Todibo, who hits it long, left-footed, up towards Wilson, has a little glance over his shoulder, backs into Twanzebe. I think he was offside anyway, and it'll be a free kick to Burnley. Pat?
They don't really want to do that, West Ham, because you do know, and it's always been the case, that Callum Wilson will chase things. He's strong, etc. But he's not young anymore, and he's not going to go beyond, so he has to try and get a little half yard early. And against the physicalities against just now, he's not really going to be able to hold that up so much, so going long from there doesn't strike me as the best tactic for West Ham.
Fleming with a flick, Kilman with a clearance before Anthony could get there. Bouncing ball, Chowner running away from Somerville, barges into each other, and it will go out of play for a throw. It remains 1-1. Nuno Espirito Santo, I think, is going to be making a change. Thomas Souček is going to be coming on. Meanwhile, there's a try in the Rugby Union, Ailey Barber.
And it's a great start to the second half for Scotland. They've got themselves on the score sheet. It's Ewan Ashman with a driving ball over the line. Ashman got the ball down. Finn Russell added the conversion, so it is now Scotland 7, New Zealand 17.
And commentary of that is on Sports Extra 3. Potts has gone down. He's sitting on his backside on the grass, and so Souček will be coming on.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. He went down a little while before. He's tried to run it off, but it would seem that he's no real opportunity to do that. And he's not a bad replacement, Souček. Yeah, he scored last week, but he's got such fabulous physicality, and you know he's very, very good at arriving late into the box and getting in the end of crosses.
So Souček coming on, Potts coming off as we go to Middlesbrough and Mike Minay.
Well, Middlesbrough lead by 2-1, but Birmingham City should be level. Jay Stansfield forced the ball past his man on the left-hand side. It was 3 blue shirts versus 1 Middlesbrough defender. Stansfield went alone, tried the placement, and goalkeeper Sol Bryn was equal to it down to his left-hand side. Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham City 1.
Chesterfield 3, Accrington Stanley 2 is the latest score in League 2. Back to the Championship, Wrexham, Lee Blakeman.
Wrexham 0, Charlton 0, but what a chance for Wrexham a few moments ago. Thomason with a corner towards the back post, found the head of Kiefer Moore, who headed it straight back across the face of goal and just wide of the far post. Wrexham 0, Charlton 0.
Is it a good sign that Potts hasn't gone straight down the tunnel for treatment and he's just sitting on the bench?
Hopefully it's a good sign. You know, it's nothing absolutely serious, just a little tweak, I would suggest, of a muscle.
Somerville, sharp turn, look towards Bowen. Bowen's been quiet, hasn't he?
He has, and to be honest, he's given the ball away a lot more than he usually does. And the big things about him, he's the one who we're talking about, that quality, that final ball. They expect him to deliver it over and above everyone else. Now, probably include Paquetá in that as well. But today, it's been quiet, he's been deep, he's not really got the ball in many dangerous areas. And there have been a few times when, under very limited pressure, he's given the ball away. A very, very unbone-late performance so far.
Walker has tried to hit a diagonal ball out to his opposite fullback Hartman, but it went away and straight through to Areola. Bowen now can exploit the gap left by Hartman, who's running back, racing back to get into position. Bowen towards the byline with the cross. Wilson is there, takes a deflection off the head of Estev, and Chowner is adjudged to have been fouled And that will be by Malik Diouf, and that will be a free kick to Burnley. So we've been playing for just over an hour now. It remains West Ham 1, Burnley 1, and we will go back to John Bennett at Everton.
Everton 1, Fulham 0. 2 changes for Fulham. Chukwueze is on, so is Rodrigo Muniz, and he has nearly equalised. Right hand side of the box, decent effort, well saved by Jordan Pickford. Fulham are coming back into this game. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
I noticed that Harry Kane has scored for Bayern Munich in injury time, as they now have equalised at Union Berlin 2-2 for what has been a fabulous start to the season for Harry Kane, for club and country.
Absolutely startling. Do you know what? If Erling Haaland wasn't around, we'd be talking about him all the time.
Anthony with a cut back right hand side of the penalty area for Burnley, dealt with by Kilman. Malik Diouf's clearance will only go as far as Cullen. Cullen's forward ball goes astray. Souček, little stumble by Bowen. Bowen able to turn, chips it up towards Somerville, over the head of Walker, but then Walker just brought it down with the top of his right boot, running back and tidies up. As Barnet 2, MK Dons 2 is the latest score, and Norwich City, who've lost all 6 at home this season at Carrow Road, against Leicester without a win in 5. Norwich 1, Leicester City 0 is the latest score in the Championship. Brun Larsen is going to be coming on for Burnley. Scott Parker is looking to make a change. It remains 1-1, 5 Live the World Service. Also live on BBC Sounds. Full time now in the Rugby League. Sharon.
And it's finished England 8, Australia 30. Australia completing a 3-0 series whitewash. 2 converted tries at the end from Reece Walsh against an England side who will need to certainly pick themselves up with the World Cup in a year's time. England 8, Australia 30.
Thank you, Sharon. As West Ham United are attacking, Bowen makes a diagonal run, rides one challenge and gets away from it. Bowen, weak ball into the penalty area, Esteve clears. Bowen, I think, might have been impeded, but he tried to stay on his feet, to his credit. Brun Larsen's going to be coming on. Chowner's going to be the player off. Malik Diouf with the cross, and that works its way over towards that far side.
Well, just off. I don't know if you were watching the ball there, but off the ball there was a real coming to with Bowen alongside upside Fleming. Fleming has to be careful.
Fleming's on a yellow card. Bowen is. It's the bootless Bowen. He's lost it, and Fleming's actually picked it up, and he's tossed it away from where Bowen is. He might score here with his. He's walking at the minute without a boot on his left foot.
The word housery comes to mind.
Crawley 2, Fleetwood 0. Bolton 3, Port Vale 0 are latest scores. Only now can Bowen put on that boot, and we'll get news of that Norwich City goal. Mark Webber.
Yes, Norwich 1, Leicester 0. They could be on for their first home win of this season, and another one comes in there, nearly 2-0. Matthias Christgarden on the right hand side with the rebound. 1-0 to Norwich.
Thank you, Mark.
I wonder right now if they'll try and take Fleming off, because he's booked. He had some trouble off the ball, and then, as you say, he's thrown that boot away. Now, in times gone past when nobody saw that wouldn't be a problem really, but on this occasion, wait a minute, all the cameras are saying it, so the referee says that. Take a dim view of it, but it's waiting a wee moment. Anyway, there's something much more important happened in the world.
What, Brun Larsen coming on for Chowner? Oh, sorry, you mean there's been another try for Scotland?
Exactly, Ellie.
There has indeed. Scotland have flown out of the traps in this second half. Murrayfield has come alive, and it's Kyle Steyn who has levelled in terms of the try scored by both nations. Going over in the corner, great work from right to left through the hands by Scotland, and Finn Russell added the extras. It is now Scotland 14, New Zealand 17.
Paquetá's first time cross gets diverted behind for a corner kick to West Ham United at 1-1. Commentary of that game at Murrayfield is on Sports Extra 3. Huddersfield Town 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. Luton have got a third goal at Stockport County. Stockport 0, Luton 3. Barnsley are now 2-up at Doncaster. Nothing happened from the corner to the edge of the area, cleared by Cullen. And Blackpool have got another goal. Adam Cottier.
Ashley Fletcher has now scored twice for Blackpool. Blackpool 2, Cardiff 0. Swift counter charge downfield, a square pass, and Fletcher with a deft finish beats the Cardiff keeper, and it's 2-0 to Blackpool.
We're midway through the second half. Somerville picks up on a loose ball. It runs towards Todibo. Todibo, edge of the area. Paquetá hits it. Block comes in from Walker. Back header away then by Cullen. Paquetá is the one who will pick it back up, and he might go again. That block comes in. Ooh! That has just gone and caught Fleming in what we described as the unmentionables in our recent Commentators View podcast. His eyes will be watering. He'll be high-pitched, will the Dutchman, for a while, as the ball is played forward now to Ugochukwu, and Fleming is yet to venture forward. Only now is he able to start running, as Burnley is still attacking with Brun Larsen. Back then it goes to Tuanzebe. Florentino, ball from Anthony, just tried to tickle into the path of Fleming. It breaks down and Bowen picks it up. Stopped though by Hartman. That was a good challenge to be won by Hartman, and he passes the ball forward. Here's Anthony in the penalty area. His shot is blocked, picked up by Cullen. Cullen doesn't shoot, passes it to Brun Larsen, the substitute, with the cross, and the header on the run from Ugochukwu is gathered in by Areola. West Bromwich Albion 2, Oxford United 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Where else, I wonder, should we go? It's Stockport, Betty Glover.
Stockport 0, Luton 3. Isaiah Jones from the counter-attack. He beat the defenders. Sloppy defending once again. Stockport thought they had a lifeline 14 minutes ago through a penalty. That was saved, and now Luton have another one. Stockport 0, Luton 3.
Well, it's building. You can just start to feel the jeopardy and the tension in the game, because everybody knows what's at stake for these two struggling sides.
I thought it would. I absolutely thought it would as the games went on. And they're certainly, both coaches are thinking, right, we need to make changes, we need to go and put a little bit more positivity up front. Souček makes a little bit of a difference for West Ham, but I think Brun Larsen coming on the right hand side, going to ask some questions of Juve. That could be massive. And there are another two coming on as well.
Anthony to Fleming. Fleming with a back heel. Hartman fires over the cross from the left, and it will go out of play for a throw. In fact, we're going to see changes from both sides. Broja and Hannibal are going to be coming on for the all sky blue of Burnley, and we're going to see Magassa, I think, going to be coming on for West Ham United. Sungatu Magassa, who they signed from Monaco for just under £15 million. So whilst the substitutes take place here, Magassa coming on for Wilson, who got the equaliser. We'll go to John Bennett at Everton.
Yeah, your game getting tense. It's the same here. Fulham are getting back into this. Everton 1, Fulham 0. But the more this game goes on, the more Everton get nervous. Merlin Rawle is on for Everton. He's come on to replace Irabunum. It's Everton 1, Fulham 0.
Fleming is coming off, so both the goal scorers are leaving the field. He turns to acknowledge the travelling support from Burnley. Broja to replace Fleming, and then Hannibal coming on for Ugochukwu. So Hannibal for what will be his 50th appearance for Burnley here this afternoon. There the changes being made by Scott Parker, who made 129 appearances and scored 12 goals for West Ham in 4 years between 2007 and 2011. Bolton are flying at home. Bolton Wanderers 4, Port Vale 0. That will be an 8th successive home success. As here is Florentino from distance, strikes the heels of Kilman, comes out to Hartman into the penalty area. Broja stretching, couldn't control it. West Ham pass the ball back towards Areola, and we've got about 18 minutes remaining. Very, very soon we'll rattle through all the various divisions, give you all the latest scores as we build up to Sports Report on 5 Live. 1-1 here at the London Stadium.
And possibly the most annoying thing that's happened to Scott Parker the whole day's happened just then. It all came to him and he miscontrolled it.
Oh, did he?
He did. It's the shoes, honestly, it's just the shoes.
Yeah. Suited and booted, or as John Murray would say, suited and booted, as he makes his way back to his dugout. John with James McFadden for our next commentary at 5:30. 5:25 on Sports we'll have England-Fiji in the Rugby Union. Free kick to Burnley, still at 1-1. This would be a good point for Burnley. It's actually looking at their form in comparison to the last time that they were in the Premier League, which I'll tell you about in a minute, as Hartman hits a flat ball in and he's overhit that, out for a goal kick. So they've had 3 wins in the Premier League. When they were last in the top flight 2 years ago, it took them 18 games to get 3 wins, and it took them 29 matches, almost to mid-March, for their 4th. They only actually had 5 victories throughout the whole of that relegation season. So Scott Parker, in that sense, I would suggest that there may be slightly ahead in terms of their expectations 10 games in. And Chris Collinson, the statistician for BBC's Match of the Day, says the interesting thing is, for the last 10 seasons of all the promoted sides, when you've got a barometer after 10 games. 0 to 7 points, an 8% chance of survival. 8 to 10 points, a 20% chance of survival. 11 points or more. All 12 promoted sides stayed up over the last 10 years. Burnley, of course, 10 from 10. That would give them a fighting chance if they could continue doing that. They're fighting here, but they're now on the back foot as West Ham come forward, and the early ball towards Somerville. Somerville races onto it into the penalty area. Bowen is up within. Somerville goes into the side netting, and the referee will give a goal kick.
It's that problem again, Ian. He gets the ball and he's got to play it first time. Somerville want you to run with the ball. The ball comes up to him. Play it with your left foot and across right away as soon as you possibly can. If your forward doesn't get onto it, it's his fault. Took a little bit too long, ran out of space, chances lost.
Barrow 2, Grimsby Town 2, Swansea City 1, Ipswich 3 is the latest score in the Championship, and another goal in Wales in the Championship, and it's at Wrexham. Lee Blakeman.
And it's gone to Wrexham. Wrexham 1, Charlton 0. Josh Windass, brilliant penalty after Hernandez was penalised for a harsh handball. Wrexham ahead with 13 minutes to go. Wrexham 1, Charlton 0.
5 unbeaten, that would be for Phil Parkinson's side if that was the case. Walsall, the leaders of League 2, are ahead at Newport County, and there's just been a goal at the county ground. Laura Kenyon.
Swindon 1, Tranmere 0. Swindon aiming to return to the top of the table, and it's Ollie Palmer hammering it into the back of the net. Ian Holloway tucked away in the dugout below me will be chuffed with that one. They've been the better side. It's Swindon 1, Tranmere 0.
Because St Mirren are playing Hibs at 5:45 in Paisley, there's only one game in the Scottish Premiership at 3, and Falkirk still lead bottom of the table Livingston by a goal to nil. We'll give you the latest scores in League 2, League 1 and the Championship in a moment. Everton still lead Fulham 1-0. It's 1-1 here at the London Stadium, and we've got 15 minutes remaining. There's been a goal now at Valley Parade, and that's Premji.
Bradford City 1, Burton Albion 2. Bobby pointed from the spot after it was Hartridge's cross, foul on Humphreys, and Bobby Poynton, no mistake from 12 yards. Bradford City 1, Burton Albion 2.
So the two results in League 2 earlier were Colchester United 0, Bromley 2, and Crewe beat Shrewsbury by 3-1. These are the latest scores in League 2 as Fernandez over the halfway line for West Ham runs in towards the centre circle and then gets the ball back, and all of a sudden it opens up for Fernandez and he finds Bowen, and Bowen on the edge of the area shoots, but it's straight at the goalkeeper and it remains 1-1. So Barnet lead MK Dons 2-0, Barrow 2, Grimsby 2. Barrow were actually 2-0 down in that game. Gillingham with Gareth Ainsworth back in the dugout after heart surgery, leading at Bristol Rovers by a goal to nil. Chesterfield 3, Accrington 3. Fleetwood, who were down to 10 men as early as the 10th minute, are 2-0 down at Crawley as West Ham are now attacking. Somerville, Fernandez with the cross from the left-hand side, diverted behind for a corner kick. Harrogate 0, Oldham 1. That would be a 90 feet out of 11 for Simon Weaver's side. Newport 2, the leaders Walsall 4. Salford 0, Cambridge 0, and second place Swindon lead Tranmere by a goal to nil. Tranmere only 1 win in 10 before today. League 1 and the Championship to come. Pat.
Fernandez has had a couple of brilliant moments. He's found himself in space in between the lines, and he's changed the way this game looks just now. He's pushed the opposition back a little bit, and West Ham have got a corner. Once again, Somerville got it for them.
Somerville to take it on this near side, the left. It looked like it was primed to the head of Kilman. It's headed out, played back in, and Soucek running into the far post, smuggles the ball over the goal line. They are looking for back-to-back wins, and Soucek, he could hardly miss. With 13 minutes remaining, West Ham have come from behind. They lead 2-1.
Well, it's just that little change in the game, and again it was just the movements before that. Fernandez got on the ball, asked a couple of different questions, lifted the pace a little bit, the tempo a bit. He gave it to that man who I think has been probably the best player that they've had so far. Somerville led to the corner, and of course you need a natural goal scorer. They've just taken one off, and the man that scored, Wilson, scored the first one. However, they've brought another natural goal scorer on, haven't they? And he's just made it 2-1. Well done, Soucek.
Just wonder whether they'll have a look. Did it maybe strike an arm as it went in? He's onside, there's no doubt about that. Did seem to strike his body, didn't it? They're going to have a look at a replay about that. VAR will naturally have a look. The goal's going to stand, I think. Chesterfield 3, Accrington 3 is the latest score in League 2. Oldham are now down to 10 men. Ryan Woods has been sent off as they lead at Harrogate by a goal to nil. Norwich 1, Leicester 1, Peterborough 4, Wimbledon 0, and the goal does stand. And West Ham do lead by 2-1. And Stockport County, who are losing at home to Luton Town, are now down to 10. Owen Dodson has been sent off as we go to the rugby and Ailey Barber.
Fagerson, replaced by number 20, Rory Darge. And a change from New Zealand lead the pitch.
Unable to get to Ailey at this stage. So West Ham United, little bit like London buses really, that Newcastle last weekend, the first time in after a run of 32 league games when they've trailed, they come from behind to win for the first time since May 2024, and now all of a sudden the same thing has happened, and they're now leading 2-1.
Except they haven't quite won it yet, and
no.
It's one of those days where, unlike last week, I thought they looked comfortable in the second half. You don't think West Ham, although they've not given many chances away, they don't look utterly comfortable yet.
In comes the in-swinging corner. West Ham get it away. Anthony heads it back on the edge of the area. West Ham's defence will break. Somerville, if he gets his head up, he'll see Paquetá streaking through the middle. But Somerville, first of all, has got to try and get past Hannibal and also Walker. And Hannibal wins the ball. Walker. We'll try again with Ailey at Murrayfield.
Sorry, Ian, it's so loud in here at Murrayfield. I missed you. Scotland have drawn level, a penalty from Finn Russell, and for the third time in this game, New Zealand are down to 14. A third yellow card, this one to Satiti, and Scotland have their tails up. They are going for a first ever win against New Zealand, and it is Scotland 17, New Zealand 17.
I can only imagine the noise there. That commentary continues on Sports Extra 3. Swansea 1, Ipswich 4, Crawley 2, Fleetwood 1. Fleetwood, who are down to 10 men, and there's been another goal at Blackpool for Adam Cottier in League One.
It's going to be 3 wins from 3 for Ian Evatt in charge of Blackpool. Blackpool 3, Cardiff 0. Tom Bloxham, another breakaway round the keeper, and from a tight angle he tucked it in. Blackpool 3, Cardiff 0.
Still got to give you the latest scores in League One and the Championship. West Ham now leading by 2-1. Brune Larson, Burnley, remember, took the lead in the first half. The ball goes back towards Walker. Walker looking to deliver that cross. Good save by the goalkeeper Areola with his legs, because Florentino just threw himself at it. It was a glancing header, and Areola kept it out with his shins. In League One, then the 2 results. Northampton 2, Mansfield 1, Wycombe 4, Leyton Orient 1. They were the results from the early games. These are the latest scores at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool 3, Cardiff 0, Bolton 4, Port Vale 0, Bradford City 1, Burton Albion 2, Doncaster 1, Barnsley 2, Exeter 1, Wigan 1, Huddersfield lead Plymouth 2-0, Peterborough 4, Wimbledon 0, Rotherham 3, Lincoln City 0. Rotherham will be unbeaten in 6, Stockport County 0, Luton 3. That means that Bolton, I think, will go third in the table. The top 3 from this morning are all losing. Stockport, Bradford and Cardiff. As we will go to Betty for news of that red card at Edgeley Park.
It's not a good day for those teams at the top of League One, is it? And this is going from bad to worse for Stockport County, trailing Luton 3-0. Owen Dodgson has been shown a second yellow. He's been sent off. He's their only fit left back, and he's now facing a 1-game ban. Stockport 0, Luton 3.
And news of that goal at Norwich, Mark Webber.
Norwich 1, Leicester 1, an equaliser on the 74th for Bobby Decorover-Reid in the area, and he belts it into the left-hand goal. Norwich 1, Leicester 1.
Marcus Edwards has come on for Jayden Anthony, and Pires has replaced Hartman at left back for Burnley. And we have 8 minutes remaining. I've still got to give you the Championship scores as well. Huddersfield 3, Plymouth 0 is the latest in League One. West Ham are going to make a couple of changes, I noticed. We're going to see Kyle Walker-Peters coming on, and the other change is going to be Igor Julio. So he's on loan from Brighton. It'll only be his 3rd appearance. They've all been off the bench, but defensive reinforcements for Nuno Espirito Santo. February was the last time that West Ham had back-to-back wins in the Premier League. In fact, it was the only time last season that they had back-to-back wins against Arsenal and Leicester City. But that's what they're on course to do here today, as they lead Burnley. And although their goal difference, it wouldn't take them out of the relegation zone, they would now move level with Burnley.
Yeah, and it's definitely a defensive one, isn't it? They're going for just now. Paquetá going to come off.
Paquetá, remember, who'll be suspended for the next game after the international break, away to Bournemouth from an accumulation of yellow cards, his 5th yellow of the season. And Walker-Peters coming on for Somerville, so definitely is defensive reinforcements from Nuno Espirito Santo. A pragmatic approach to finish the game as we go to Everton and John Bennett.
Everton 1, Fulham 0. Everton on the attack, a blow for Fulham. They're playing without a recognised striker now. Rodrigo Muniz, who had come on as a sub, has been forced off. So Samuel Chukwueze now is playing as their striker. Everton 1, Fulham 0.
Sweet return for John Eustace at Ewood Park earlier. Blackburn 1, Derby County 2 was the result. Hull City beat Portsmouth by 3-2. They move into the playoff positions. Millwall 1, Preston North End 1 for the other results in the Championship. These are the latest scores. Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham 1. Norwich 1, Leicester City 1. Sheffield United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Southampton 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. In the top of the table clash, Stoke City 0, Coventry 0. Swansea 1, Ipswich 4. West Brom have come from behind. They lead Oxford by 2-1. And Phil Parkinson's Wrexham looking to go 5 unbeaten at home as they lead Charlton by 1-0. There's now been a goal at Everton. John Bennett.
Surely Everton have sealed the 3 points. Everton 2, Fulham 0. Keenan Dewsbury Hall with the corner, and Michael Keane got the final touch. It seemed to go in slow motion as it hit the back of the net. Everton 2, Fulham 0.
This is 5 Live, the World Service, and also the BBC Sounds app, with West Ham United leading by 2-1. Match of the day tonight is on at 10-11. You can see the highlights, the key highlights at 8 o'clock on the BBC iPlayer, extended highlights on BBC One at 10-11. No other goals to tell you about so far. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, but looking at the way West Ham have set it out now, they look really comfortable. They have got so many defenders on there, you know, so they will work hard, they will chase, they will make sure they don't throw players up for corner kicks. The long throw there they could have taken. Kilman not interested in going up for the first time in the game so far. Yeah, plenty of players back there, and they will try to make sure that they can see this one out. But just a few moments before that, Broja had a little chance. You were talking about the ball played in. Broja had an air shot. He swiped at it and he just didn't connect. Simple as that.
What about Burnley as an attacking force? We know ahead of the game that they'd have attempted just 74 shots, the lowest in the top flight. How much of a concern is that for you? Are they going to have enough sufficient firepower to survive?
No, it's not looked like that at all in this game. But not just firepower, but creativity. You need a little bit of creativity in the Premier League. It's a top league for a reason, because you've got real quality, and maybe that's missing. But this is away from home. It's a wee bit tougher away from home for most players.
Malik Diouf hauled to the ground by Walker. That'll be a free kick to West Ham. Malik Diouf has stayed down. West Ham lead by 2-1. And in the top of the table clash at the Championship, there's been a late goal. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Coventry. Superb goal from Mason Clark. Scissors kick, right foot. He's injured himself in the process. He's still down, but in front of the Coventry fans, that's a precious contribution from Mason Clark. It's Stoke 0, Coventry 1.
That could be an 8th win from 9 games. Huddersfield Town 3, Plymouth 1. Plymouth have got a goal back in West Yorkshire. We've got, how long have we got left? We've got 4 minutes remaining of normal time. West Ham 2, Burnley 1. Everton 2, Fulham 0 is a latest score at Everton's new stadium. Commentary to come after Sports Report from the Stadium of Light. Sunderland against the leaders Arsenal. And then it's 606 08085909693. We'll have news of Chelsea against Wolves, which is the 8 o'clock kickoff into that. And tomorrow a whole host of games that we've got covered. Forest Leeds is on 5 Live. Brentford Newcastle on Sports Extra. Villa Bournemouth on Sports Extra 2. Palace Brighton on Sports Extra 3. There's a shot fired in, spilled by the goalkeeper, and 2 West Ham players fight for the final touch. And the one who runs away to celebrate is Kyle Walker-Peters, as West Ham United surely have got the 3 points, and that would be his first goal for the club. The keeper couldn't hold it from the long-range effort, and Walker-Peters pounced, and West Ham back-to-back wins, 3-1.
Well, for any West Ham supporters out there, remember against Newcastle, the Soucek goal, just follows it in and makes sure you can tap it in. Well, the 2 players that were doing it had Clark and Amber shots on there, and he smashed in, bouncing for the keeper, nothing he can do, and both of them falling in, and that has absolutely finished it. You cannot see any way that Burnley are going to score 2 goals to get back into this game, and it makes it look like a comfortable afternoon for West Ham, but it's been anything but.
Well, now it means it's goals scored that's actually preventing West Ham climbing out of the relegation zone, because their goal difference is now identical at -9 for Burnley and West Ham, who are locked together on 10 points. And Nuno Espirito Santo, Nottingham Forest fans will know all about what the work he could do When he was in charge of Forest in 2024 on the final day, a win against Burnley ensured that Forest stayed up in the top flight. He's got enough time to do and work his magic here at West Ham. They beat Newcastle last week 3-1. They're now beating Burnley by 3-1. And just like last week, they've also had to come from behind to do so.
Yeah, but listen to the fans as well. I mean, to some degree, they probably can't believe it because it's not been a sparkling performance. But it's been enough. It's clearly been enough, and the fans are getting behind the team. That'll lift the confidence that you've got within the squad and on the pitch. But the other thing to absolutely remember, managers won't say it themselves. They want you to tell you. You make some substitutions and see when two of them score. Boy, do they love it. Because obviously that was managerial genius.
Of course. And we'll try and hear from Nuno in Sports Report. We'll bring you as much live reaction as we can before our next commentary at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland, who've made such an impressive start against the leaders Arsenal. Falkirk 1, Livingston 1. So bottom of the table, Livy have got an equaliser. And there's also been a goal at Swindon in League 2. Laura Kenyon.
An equaliser, Swindon 1, Tranmere 1, a game lacking quality for the most part, certainly coming to life in the latter stages. A rebound followed in by Christian Dennis, not the prettiest of goals, but it draws Tranmere level. Swindon 1, Tranmere 1.
That would be without a win in 4 for Swindon. They've just hit a little bit of a buffer. There's going to be 6 minutes additional time here, which we are about 30 seconds away from going into it. But the points are safe for West Ham United as they lead by 3-1.
Let's just try to see who scored the Livingston goal there.
It was Danny Wilson.
I'd like to meet Danny Wilson. Anyway, musicians out there will get that joke. Carry on.
Here is the underarm throw out from Areola. Malik Diouf. An afternoon that started with protests. They're going to be celebrating with points for West Ham United.
And it is so calm now, isn't it? It's a real culture calmness about the place. And this could easily have gone such another ugly way. But, you know, a little bit of quality and a manager who seems to be making some good decisions at the moment's made a big difference.
I don't think I'd have a Mary's Prayer of getting any musical links that you would have with your knowledge, Pat.
Very impressed. Danny Wilson scores another one. Right.
Stoppage time here on 5 Live Sport and the World Service. West Ham United 3, Burnley 1.
What a difference this 2 weeks has made to West Ham, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant for them. They looked as if they were going to be left behind, 3 points last week, 3 points this week, 6 points, and suddenly from being left down there with the likes of Wolves, they're up, and they've actually got themselves on the edge, and as you say, level with Burnley now, and beginning to even think about looking further up.
Yes, very much so. Burnley seriously looking over their shoulders. They've only won 2 of now what will be their last 12 top-flight games away to West Ham, although they've been awarded a free kick, which is close on 30 yards out from goal. It's a dipping effort, actually. It's a good save from Areola, who had to move away a little bit towards his left to keep out that effort from Brun Larsen. He got it up and over the wall from right-footed from long distance, and with a lot of urgency wants to take this corner kick on this near side, the right, but time is very much against Burnley. Brun Larsen waits, frantically trying to get some instructions across, and then plays it towards Edwards. Brun Larsen wants the return ball, but Edwards doesn't give it to him. Tries to shuffle the ball onto his left foot. Cullen hits it on the half volley, and it will sail out of play and go all the way through towards a goal kick. Pat Nevin.
He's getting absolute daggers from his teammate there. If you take a short corner and then don't get the ball in, or over intricate, and that ball was just made a complete and utter mess of that in the end, and that's disappointing for your fans, your travelling fans, but for the players that have come up from centre back, they're absolutely fizzing about that.
Talked a lot about West Ham's run of games after the international break. They're not exactly easy for Burnley. Chelsea at home, Brentford away, and Crystal Palace at home are their next 3 fixtures when play resumes after the international break, of which incidentally we will have commentary from Wembley on Thursday. England playing Serbia in that their penultimate World Cup qualifier. Peterborough United 5, Wimbledon 0 is the latest score in League One. What's happening in the rugby at Murrayfield? Ailey Barber.
New Zealand have put themselves ahead through substitute Damien McKenzie. It all came from his downfield kick right into the corner, and from there New Zealand went through the process, and Scotland defended really well, but when it went to the corner, Damien McKenzie, great strength to contort his body, get the ball down right in the corner. Kick was missed, so it's Scotland 17, New Zealand 22.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra 3. Swindon Town 2, Tranmere Rovers 1. So Swindon second in the table, trying to keep pace with Walsall, who are leading at Newport at the county ground with a injury time, what could be a winner for Ian Holloway's side. Burnley 3-1 down here, have been awarded a free kick. Now Walker is currently standing inside the 6-yard area. He must be at least 8 yards behind the West Ham line that has gathered around the penalty spot, as only now Walker is running back onto an onside position as he crouches, trying to almost hide behind Malik Diouf. The bright orange boots might be a bit of a giveaway as Brune Larsen and Walker to his... slid into that. His legs went either side of the post. I think he might have just... In fact, the way he's running, he did prevent himself from hitting the post from you-know-where.
Do you know what? You look at all the people around there who could see that, including me and you. The phrase "he's behind you" comes to mind. Yeah. And he didn't turn around at any point in time to see the run, and everyone can see what he was trying to do.
News of that late goal at Swindon, Laura.
Swindon 2, Tranmere 1. Swindon retaking the lead and surely sealing all 3 points in the process. Finlay Munro with an absolute beauty outside the box, right footed into the top right corner. A frantic end to this game, 3 minutes into 6 added on. Swindon 2, Tranmere 1.
Frantic end at Carrow Road as well. Leicester City, without a win in 5, have got an injury time goal, and Norwich City, who were leading, now trail. It could be a 7th defeat at home, all losing all 7 at Carrow Road for Norwich City. Norwich 1, Leicester City 2 is the latest score in the Championship. But we're playing out time here at the London Stadium. We're about to enter the last 60 seconds. Sports Report is coming up, so do not go anywhere. We'll bring you as much live reaction as we can, as here is Bowen picking up on a loose ball. Souček just stepping forward was Twansebi, and Burnley will get the ball clear. Hannibal, another goal at Blackpool. Adam Cottier.
It is Blackpool 3, Cardiff 1 now. Youssef Salak has scored from close range. It's way too late. Cardiff are going to lose. It's 3-1 deep in added time.
But Bradford and Stockport ahead of them, also losing at the top of League One. So Pat, with the last 30 seconds remaining of stoppage time, West Ham leading by 3-1. How would you sum up this game?
Well, I'd sum up this game as the fact it gives West Ham another chance to build in a little bit of confidence they got last week. It hasn't been a brilliant performance, but it's clearly going to be a good enough performance against Burnley. Said before the game, a point it was nowhere near good enough for West Ham. Well, they've found a way, and a lot of that's got to do with a manager who knows his stuff, and well done, Nuno.
Hannibal from distance, the goalkeeper has spilt it, and it's bundled over the line by Josh Cullen. They've reduced the arrears with literally seconds remaining. Areola spilling that opportunity. Cullen, a former West Ham player, on the follow-up, makes it now West Ham United 3, Burnley 2.
Well, there's complaints from Areola. They are saying that I had control of the ball. Didn't look like it from here, I'll be honest with you. You know, the ball's been shot in there. He's got his hands on it, it's dropped down in front of him, and it's been followed in, you know, and you've got to follow him. That's what strikers do. And he's dropped it right in front of himself. He thinks he's got control of it. The referee will have a little bit of a look at it. If he gets away with it, Areola here, I'll say he's lucky. I'll say he's very lucky. I couldn't see a lot wrong with that.
Yeah, as the cross came in from Hannibal, he spilt it. It was a bouncing ball, and I'm not too sure either that he had full control of that, as Cullen got there first. So in the 97th minute, Burnley have got a goal back, but I don't think there'll be enough time anyway. We're already over the minimum of 6. VAR is taking its time. West Ham 3, Burnley 2. The results are coming in elsewhere across the country. How long do they need to check it?
Apart from anything else, it doesn't look like a clear and obvious error, particularly by the referee there. You know, it's not as if he's absolutely grabbed the ball. He's kind of going towards the ball. They'll freeze it to the absolute millisecond. And of course, what they will say is it dangerous play by having his feet up there with the goalkeeper's hands? Most goalkeepers will say that should be a foul, and most strikers will say, what are you talking about?
Neil Davis is the VAR official. He's deemed that the goal will stand.
And rightly so.
no foul at all from Cullen. So it is West Ham United 3, Burnley 2. But I don't think there's going to be enough time for Burnley to get an equaliser. There are a number of empty white seats around the stadium. There is a banner, I think, it was being hoisted in the West Ham end away towards our left, but stewards have quickly gone to shut that one down. I've been told to wrap it up and take it away. West Ham are in no real hurry to get the game restarted. Be nice to get home. I think as soon as the game starts, the referee will have a look at the watch and blow his whistle, and West Ham have got the 3 points. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, do you know, well done Burnley getting that goal back there, because that was not a 2-goal win for West Ham. They didn't deserve that. They weren't that good. However, you found a way to do it. I've not been to many games that we've watched 5 goals and thought that was not a very good game of football, and it wasn't a very good game of football. But sometimes that's just the way it is. You shrug your shoulders, get on, take the 3 points, and get the confidence built from there. And that's what certainly West Ham can do. Burnley, I don't think they were expecting much out of it and didn't give that much.
Thank you to Pat. Full time then at the London Stadium. West Ham United 3, Burnley 2.